No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. What a wicked game you play to make me feel this way. What a wicked thing to do, to let me dream of you. What a wicked thing to say, you never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, to make me dream of you. And I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you.
Hello, welcome to the very first WebDM episode of The Lost Girls, our brand new cypher system vampire game set in the 80s. I can hear an echo. What have I done? Okay, I left my stream on. I was so excited watching the introduction. I was like, oh, what's this? Strange voice in my ear. Oh, it's myself. Shout out to WebDM Trav for making that wonderful introduction, and small shout out, quiet shout out, to the wonderful Susanna Grace for singing on the introduction. Was beautiful. Thank you. So today is our very first game. We're going to be doing a mix of a session 0 and a session 1. So you are going to get some gameplay. But we thought we'd introduce you to our world and to our characters before we deep dived in. I know a lot of people were probably expecting Vampire Masquerade game or another system, but we chose Cypher because it gives us so much freedom to build and create exactly what we want. So thank you, Monty Cook. Wonderful system. I think let's go around and introduce everyone who is playing, because I have assembled a wonderful cast and I can't believe they all said yes. So let's go first to Kiana. Would you like to introduce yourself and say hi?
Hey everyone, I'm Kiana, also known as Kiana S, all around internet and over here on WebDM. I am super excited to be here. I'm still getting used to the frame, so excuse my lisp as I do that. But yeah, this has been an incredible couple months in the making. I'm so excited to be here and playing with everybody. Yay!
Susie.
Hi, I'm Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace, and I am everywhere on the internet these days, so you're probably sick of seeing me. But Charlie said, hey, Susie, do you want to come be a vampire? And I was like, I've already got my fans in, Charlie. Where do I sign? So yeah, I'm so excited to play this game. This crew are amazing. She told me who was involved, and I did a little scream. So I'm just so excited to get delving into this world, and for everybody to meet my trash child, Jessica, who I'm so proud of already.
Whoop, whoop. And that brings us around to the wonderful Lindy.
Hi, I'm Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy. I'm really excited about this game. I love vampires, always have, always will. And I'll be playing a bit different of a vampire, Ixis, who's just a sweet little vampire bab who wants to learn about humans and everything like that. So I'm super excited about it.
And Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna. I am playing Ephemera, who is I'm the oldest vampire in our group. She's been a vampire for over 100 years now. But I'm really excited about this too. I haven't been playing as much recently, and I've been waiting for this game for how many months now? Like 4 months now. I don't know. I'm really excited.
And that loops us up to Emma. I'm looking at my Zoom screen in case anyone's wondering why we're hopping around the overlay. I'm looking at Zoom instead of the overlay.
Hi, I'm Emma. I am the comms director of WebDM. I can't tell you how excited I am that we're finally doing this game and that we're doing it on our channel. Hooray! Thank you, Charlie, for coming to us with this awesome idea. I've never really thought much about vampires until we decided to play this game, and I'm super excited to be playing May, who is an evil vampire, but she's evil for other reasons, and she's also a communist, which is separate and not necessarily the reason why she's evil. But I'm excited to do that.
Not related.
Not related, not necessarily related, but in this case, that's what's happening. Probably. Who knows? Maybe not.
Maybe. So before we dive into session 0, I have a couple of things to mention. There are ways to interact with this game, which is new for WebDM, something we're trying on this show. But the interaction is going to really help support the show. So if you can, please do take part. There's a free one, something you get by just being here live when we play this game on Twitch. And that is something called a viewer suggestion. I will post a question in chat during the game, and you can all submit your suggestions, and I will choose one of those suggestions as the answer to my question, and that will be integrated into the game. Also, if you could please retweet, that would be amazing. I'm not directly relating the two, but please do retweet. It helps. Also, we will be doing a reroll. You can gift a member of the cast or members of the cast a reroll with $3 or 300 bits. Just when you do the bit donation or the tip, just make sure you put in a little message who it's for and what it is. And then for $10 or 1,000 bits, you can give a gift or a distraction. Within the cipher system, this is akin to giving a cipher, which is a gift, or a GM intrusion, which is a distraction. It's also kind of akin to wild magic surges because I like those a lot. And it just adds a little bit to our story and will either help or, I wouldn't say hinder, but add intrigue to the situations that are going on. Again, just put a message if you want to direct those towards a member of the party, or just say, give it to me and I'll just dish it out however I like. Cypher is a D20 system, so that is what we will be rolling. And at this point, I want to shout out Tabletop Loot, who are the Twitch sponsors here on WebDM. And if you use the code WebDM15, you can get some discount on your dice. 15%, I believe, conveniently. Those numbers match up. So that is everything I think I need to mention before we dive in. So we've been making this world for about 3 months now, and one of the first things I did was ask the players what they're interested in, what they wanted. We did a tiny bit of a microscope. What do you want? What don't you want in this world? And we decided that a group of vampires in this world is going to be called a coven, which is short for a covenant, which symbolizes the sacred agreement that they've made with each other to not kill each other in their sleep and to help rather than hinder in their secret life in the city. We are in a city, the city we've called Deadfield, but it is more commonly known in our underground world as New Vampsterdam. Thank you to everyone who came to our little Q&A while we were at PAX U. You guys came up with that name, both of those names. The city isn't a real place. It's somewhere like London, somewhere like New York. We are a transatlantic crew, so anything goes, everything goes within our city. And on this note, I've asked each of the players to prepare 2 spaces that are special to their characters within this city, things that we are going to add. This is actually inspired by my experiences in Invisible Sun, which is another one to cook game, but it's really great, and it means that we can collaboratively well build. So I think I'm going to start with Kiana. Let's do the same order. Kiana, what special places have you chosen for Alice or Al?
So there's a couple of places. One is a thrift shop in Chinatown, which belongs to a friend of hers who is actually not human, is a witch, and has to go to them to get supplies for her experiments. So she visits this one little shop that's kind of nestled between all these other shops filled with, cheap knickknacks and knockoff clothing to get a variety of things. Let's just put it at that.
I like this. So we have our wonderful thrift shop in Chinatown, which establishes we do have a district which is akin to a Chinatown, which is very exciting. Susie, what's one of your special places?
So Jessica actually runs an arcade near the boardwalk.
Oh, muted.
Whoops, I hit the space bar. That she's called, so it's down by the boardwalk, and she's called it the Crypt. And it's kind of like a dingy sort of basement, kind of looks really dodgy, but inside it's a world of video game excitement. And she's just got a new cabinet in, actually, rather on the nose. It's Castlevania.
Ooh, I like it. I'm going to skip over Lindy for a moment because she's our special case vampire and move over to Anna and Ephemera. What is one of your special places?
My most special place, aside from our home, is a library / bookstore kind of area called Lamora's. And it's run by a friend of mine whose name is Lamora. She is also undead. I've known her for a very long time. We changed our names together around the same time from our human names to our undead names. She runs this shop, and as I am a kind of archaeology historian, art history person, I find a lot of rare texts. That's something I spend a lot of my time doing. I belong to a sort of society that searches for these rare texts and documents and artifacts, usually in search of answers to any questions we kind of have about our past and where we come from and why exactly we're undead or what caused it, everything like that. So she is someone that I've known for a long time and is key to me finding some of the answers that I need.
Awesome. And Emma, what is one of your special locations?
One of May's special locations is the place where she works. It's an accountancy office for the government. It is one of these cubicle cities that has repeating things everywhere. She works. She's a lower manager for like a secretarial pool there, and as it's accountancy, that means that she has access to a lot of interesting things from a lot of interesting people that are useful to her in her personal and professional life, and that is why that place is important to her, and she hates it a lot. Yeah,
And that's my cover story, and I'll stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Kiana, what is your second special place in the city?
The second one is a this is an interesting one. It's another home set in New Amsterdam that used to be her old coven. She very much avoids it. That's the place that she tried to avoid as much as unhumanly possible. But it's set a little bit more in the richer part of town, I'd imagine, where it's kind of within a gated community. And yep, that's the important place in a bad way for her. She has a lot of memories attached to it.
Ooh, I'm muted. I like it very much. And I can't wait to use that with you. For you.
Stab me? Yeah, I know.
And that brings us back to Susie.
Okay, so the other really important place for Jessica is also on the boardwalk, but it's like a specific place in general on the boardwalk. It's the Great Ferris Wheel. It's a place where in her human life, Jessica used to like go hang out with friends, and like it was a quiet contemplation place. It also became the place where she died, and is the place where she goes to sulk.
It's always important to have a sulking place. Chat, name yours. Ephemera. Anna, what is your second special place?
My second special place is the museum where I work, which is called the Deadfield Museum of Art and History. I study archaeology and art history. Mainly that's what my focus of study is. So we have this giant museum in their town people can come to, and for some reason where we live there's lots of things found. We have things from all over the world, but it's like weird things show up around the area for some reason. I don't know what's drawing it or what, but we always find these really strange artifacts. So our town naturally built a place to kind of display them, and I study them. I'm the head historian at this museum.
Very cool and very handy for our plot. Emma, what is your second special place?
The second place that is special to me is a place that looks like a place that's not very special. Basically, around the corner downtown, up up above like a punk club, there's like a room that looks completely abandoned, and she goes there to talk to certain people about certain things that are important to her frequently.
I have a question. Do you own the club downstairs? Is that why you have access to this room?
I don't imagine that she does. I imagine somebody in the group might be something like that. I mean, she could, but I think
Like
owning
as a
property.
silent partner.
That sounds maybe something like that. Sounds like a lot of work. I'm not sure she'd want to have like her name attached to anything like that.
Well, at least you know someone who can cook the books, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Awesome. So we have Emma's torture room. Perfect.
I didn't say torture. I said we talk. So we talk about stuff.
Okay.
Talk about things.
Meeting room. Is that better?
Yeah. It's where we write pamphlets and stuff.
Oh, those sorts of meetings. I see. Perfect. Now, in our world, we have a growing political movement. This world exists somewhere between 1984 and 1987, so the Cold War is going on, but that's not the movement I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Vampirium, the rise of the vampires who seek to take over the world because humans can clearly not be trusted with it. This is one of our very important movements and very important to a lot of our characters, so that's why I mention it now. But there is another movement known as the Children of Terror. And this is our anti-supernaturals group, because every game with vampires has to have a group that doesn't like supernaturals. We do have other supernaturals in this world. As Kiana mentioned, Alice is friends with a witch. And there are also other supernaturals and undeads, werewolves, something akin to angels and demons, which I remember we came up with a name for, and I've already forgotten what it is. But yes, we have all of those things exist within this world, and I hope that we get to explore those. Why don't we move on to our character sentences? Let's start with Kiana's sentence.
Yeah, so Alice, or Al, is a learned adept of technology who conducts weird science in the shadows of a secret modern world.
Ooh. This is one of the things that I really like about sci-fi. You get these really cool sentences. Susie.
Jessica is a brash explorer who murders in the shadows of a secret modern world.
She has a lot of chill, right? Lindy, what is your sentence?
Ixis is an inquisitive explorer who travels through time.
And Anna?
Ephemera is an intelligent, skilled, and knowledgeable explorer who would rather be reading in the shadows of a secret modern world.
I love it. And that brings us up to Emma.
May is a strong-willed, stealthy speaker who infiltrates in the shadows of a secret modern world.
I like all the secrets. So many secrets. That's going to bring me on to, since we've rounded up all of our places in the city for now, that brings me to our viewer suggestion. Chat, what is the food that Thoroughfare Boardwalk is known for? The Thoroughfare is what the boardwalk is known for. I pre-decided that. To locals, it's known as the Fair, possibly because of the giant Ferris wheel and other fairground attractions that exist there. We will post our sentences on Twitter for you, so you can later go and check those out. And that's going to bring us onto the special mechanics we're using. We're using the basic cipher system, but thanks to Super Robot Bear, my good friend Ethan, we've slightly changed how the pools work to accommodate being vampires. So we are going to condense it down to actually just two pools. One pool that represents your blood pool, which fuels all of your supernatural powers, your speed, your strength, some of your intellect comes from your blood pool. And then the second pool is your humanity pool. If you lose all of your humanity, you become feral. So to figure this out, you take your strength and your speed pools and half of your intellect pool and you add them together. This is going to become your blood pool. Within the cipher system, you can take points from these pools to enhance your rolls and to activate your special abilities. And the remaining intellect becomes your humanity pool. So that is nice and simple. 2 pools from which to draw from. When you take damage, it's taken from your blood pool, which is very simple. And obviously if you drop down to 0 in your blood pool, you might not die, but you might not be in a very good place. And it will impact the amount of effort it takes to do moves and things like that. And you will probably need an emergency blood bag. As I mentioned, if you do take humanity damage, which is uncommon, but can be done by killing someone randomly who is an innocent, being called out as a vampire by a human or someone who shouldn't know what you are, things like that, that will deduct from your humanity. And as I mentioned, you become feral. Recovery. You recover your blood pool in much the same way as you would recover any of your pools in Cypher. So you can roll 1d6 pretty much for free. This is equivalent to taking a sip of blood from a person. And as it goes on, you need to consume more and more blood. Vampires are always hungry, and you are encouraged within Cypher to spend these pools. You will regenerate them. Not the end of the world. Use them. But be careful, because they do represent your life and your abilities. I am hard to hear. Let me see. I will turn myself up a tiny bit. And hopefully that will fix things. Okay. Hopefully that'll improve things. I can't really turn it up very much further than that. And I apologize if you can hear the fan in the background. So that is everything. I do have a document that we can share that explains these rules. And all of the cast members should have access to that already in the Lost Girls folder on Google Drives. So let me check what is next on our agenda as we dive through. That's right, I made an agenda. I wanted to keep on top of things because I'm so excited about this game, I didn't want to forget anything. I asked each of the cast members to choose 2 important people to them. Some of these people you may want to keep a secret from your other cast members, and that is absolutely fine. So I'm going to go around the same way, and you can just say pass if you would like to keep your 2 a secret, but I will need to know those. I think I've had messages from most of you. Don't worry too much. So let's start again with Kiana.
So we talked about the witch that is in charge of the thrift shop where Alice gets most of her supplies, and the witch's name is Sunny. Well, that's what they go by. They them for them. So they have like a friendly relationship. I don't know if I call them friends, but that's a person that is pretty prominent in Al's life.
Awesome. And Susie.
Okay, so at the arcade, Jess has a coworker called Emily, but goes by M, and they've become quite close in terms of like friendship. She doesn't know that Jess is a vampire, but they're pretty chatty. But my other person, I would like to keep a secret from the group. Thank you.
That's okay. I'm going to pass over Lindy for this one, I think. Ephemera, Anna.
So my first person was, I already mentioned her, Lamora. She owns the bookstore library. And like I said, I've known her for a very long time, and we're very close. She's a bit older than me, so she kind of helped me a little bit, but we ended up changing our names together, so that's like a weird bond we have. And then she also helps me find all these documents and texts that I need in my search. So she's super important to me and my search for my answers.
Awesome. Why isn't Lamora in the coven?
She does not like to group up with other people, so that's why her relationship with me is very distinctive. She's very much a loner, especially when it comes to being undead. She doesn't like the lifestyle that a lot of undead live, so she kind of keeps to herself, but she sees that in me, that I kind of have a similar, I don't know, personality concerning my undead. So we have kind of formed a bond through that specifically.
Awesome. Did you have a second one you'd like to tell us about?
I do. I also have, her name is Trinity. She goes by Trin. She is someone that I used to be in a relationship with. I was in love with her, and she convinced me to turn her. She was human. She convinced me to turn her to an undead. Only person I've ever intentionally turned. And she did this through manipulation because she told me she loved me and wanted to be with me. And after I turned her, she, of course, kind of left. So I still have this like intense love for her, but also like disgust of myself for letting myself do that. And she doesn't do good things with her powers. So.
And thank you, TK, for those rerolls. Woo! Just a reminder, it's $3 or 300 bits for rerolls, and it's $10 for a gift or a distraction or 1,000 bits. Emma, who are your special people?
The first special person, I haven't actually figured out names for them yet because I'm really bad at coming up with names. I'm sorry. The first one is a person who I speak to and possibly co-own our punk rock shop, Squatter Pad, who shares my feelings about humanity and politics. And so we get to talk about that. I imagine it might make the rest of y'all slightly uncomfortable when I talk about those things. We'll have to figure that out. And then the other person who does frequently talk to is a certain brash and successful real estate developer who thinks he's really hot shit, and who she uses for means and information sometimes.
Right. Does anyone in the group have a suggestion for May's radical buddy's name?
I don't have a torture sex dungeon, man. I'm just gonna say that right now. It's not.
I'm unconvinced until you prove it otherwise.
There's nothing torturous about the world revolution, you guys. It's quite pleasant.
Lindy, for your contribution, would you like to name our radical buddy, please?
I think one of them's names should be Ivan.
Ivan. I think that sounds like a radical to me. I'm down for that. Ivan. I like it. And I'm going to pick on Susie. What's the name of our brash real estate developer?
I think he should be Bradley.
Bradley. I like it. Brad, if you're on his good side.
Brad, yeah. He's all like, call me Brad, darling. And you're like, I'd rather die, you know?
Yeah. You know, buy with Brad, buy with confidence. That sort of tacky street bench, yeah.
Brad's brand, you know?
I like it a lot. Let me see. I think that is nearly all we need to do to set up. The only other thing that I asked you all about was to decide on a short-term goal for your characters. Kiana.
So Al has been has a lot of projects going on because that's what she does. But her current one is she's looking into a way to have the need to drink blood a little less messy. So a little less like I have to go and find a person to draw blood from and just trying to figure out a way to perhaps create a machinery that can synthesize blood from a small sample or something else. So that's her focus right now.
I like it. I'm imagining Back to the Future 2 when they get the tiny pizza and they put it in the microwave and it becomes like huge.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like she's trying to figure out ways to make it so that they can rely less on like having to get new sources of blood all the time, because that's a pain in the ass.
It is. And Susie.
I think Jess's short-term goal is, because she's still quite new to this whole vampirism thing, she wants to like see what she can really do. She wants to like test out all her capabilities, how far she can push herself. So she wants to see, like, her short-term goal is to see like how strong, how cool being a vampire is, basically. Like,
so I guess if we were gonna give it like a little label, it would be like push it to the limit.
Yeah, push it to the limit. Yeah.
I like it a lot. All right, awesome. And let's skip Lindy. Anna, what's your short-term goal?
So mine's a little hard to explain without getting too much into the secret background of my character, but with my relationship with Lamora, my short-term goal is finding a very particular and very hard to find rare ancient text that is, it kind of explains the way that I was turned. Like we kind of talked about it, so I don't know how to say that without kind of giving that all away.
Let's just label this as track down the book.
Okay, cool.
That's a fair way of doing it. Emma.
May's short-term goal is sort of interrelated. She wants to help Alice. She wants to secure medical equipment and whatever Alice needs, because anything that means that we are less reliant on humans is good for May. That's what she wants to do.
Awesome. Right, I think that I'm going to take a quick scroll through chat and see if we had any food suggestions. Because our viewer suggestion game today is, what food is the boardwalk known for? I see fried butter, walking tacos. What's a walking taco? Do the tacos walk?
Oh, you put it in a little thing and you eat it while you go.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Right?
so
You
takeaway.
can't walk with a regular taco?
Yeah, this is why I'm confused.
How
I
does
see.
that work?
I don't know. I might be wrong.
I like a lot. Churros, 2 churros, funnel cake. Oh, I love funnel cake. All right, Susie, since you're the most related to the boardwalk right now, which of those do you like?
Well, Susie likes funnel cake a lot. But I feel like churros is a good sort of
Churros?
a good sort of snack food, sort of seaside food.
Okay, Lindy, what is unusual about the churros? What makes them special to the fair?
You can either get them in different shapes or different flavors.
Ooh.
What's your favorite flavor?
I've never had churros before
You
because
can
I'm
get them in
allergic to
red.
them. So
Oh.
I hear they're cinnamony, so I'm probably not the right person to ask this question. I literally have no idea what they taste like.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was just going to say, just pick a random flavor.
Key lime pie.
Key lime pie. Key lime
Okay.
pie churros. Done. So you get the spongy churro, and it's filled with a mix of this creamy cheese key lime flavor. And that is the churro goodness that is served at the fair, and it's amazing. If you're human and can eat it. There we go. Key lime pie churros. Done. Beautiful. And I think this is going to take us over to our house. Our house, we've already decided, is a Victorian building, about 3 or 4 stories tall with a tower. It's actually raised up from street level due to the time when it was built, and the rest of the street is on a lower level, being newer. Anna, what was the name of the lady that owned this house originally?
Clarissa,
I think it was her last name.
Bartholomew.
Clarissa Bartholomew's House for Lost Girls. That is the sign, or rather the plaque, that adorns the outside of this building. Although it is now privately owned, the city do recognize it as a historical building. So Clarissa Bartholomew's House for Lost Girls. You are now the owner. Where would we find Ephemera tonight in the house?
So, I don't know if we're going to explain how the house is set up and how I have everyone like pick their own room and design it how they want. But Ephemera takes her little castle in the attic. It's a very strange attic. It has like the big window that kind of looks out over the land or whatever. And so she doesn't need specifically like sleep like a human does. She does sleep. She can sleep. So she does have a giant red velvet bed, like Victorian style, that she uses for various adventures. And then the walls are lined with just books of all different kinds, and then artifacts that she's collected and taken home with her. So she would definitely be there, reading something, writing something, got a little typewriter. That.
Awesome. So up in the very top of the house, you hear the clacking and the clicking of keys and the shuffling of books, and occasionally the landslide of books, as one volume is pulled out from the center and the rest tumbled down, no longer needed. Susie, where is Jessica tonight in the house?
Jessica in the house would be in her room. So she's on probably like the second floor. She's picked a spacious room. And she's currently sprawled out on her bed with her Walkman on, listening to music entirely too loud, and just zoning out and jamming to some Deep Purple, I think that's what she's listening to today.
What's Jessica wearing this evening?
She's wearing a denim jacket, a really crappy t-shirt with like tons of holes in it, some jeans. She's got that double denim going on. She's wearing the Canadian tuxedo. She's got her shoes on the bed. Makeup from about 3 days ago. She's a mess.
Living the dream.
Living the
Okay.
dream.
And Kiana, what room are you in tonight?
Alice's room is in the basement. It wasn't originally in the basement, and then Ephemera realized very quickly that it was probably best if she was put in the basement where there are less things to accidentally blow up or set on fire. And so it's a room that is mostly devoid of anything that would make it a bedroom. And instead, it's a lab. All sorts of strange devices and tubes and wires and piping that goes from one end to the next, entangling within each other, and yet Alice always knows what goes where. She always gets a little annoyed when someone comes in and cleans it, because it's not how she put it. So she is working on her newest thing, and she's bent over a table, her face awash in a glow of neon as she's experimenting with something very bright right now.
Awesome. Emma, what is May up to in the house this evening?
May is cleaning. She is making everything tidy. Her room is perfectly tidy. She probably, if there's like a central living area, she probably has, like a socially acceptable sitcom on, while she's like sweeping and vacuuming. And she probably goes in the basement and starts to tidy up there too. Sorry.
So, as the big hair of Dynasty blares loudly out of the TV, May is doing her best Snow White impression of keeping the house of the Lost Girls clean. Ephemera, there's a part of the city currently being redeveloped. It's one of the older parts of the city, not too far from here, in fact. And they've been digging down to create a new subway station. And something strange has come out of the ground. Would you like to tell us about this object?
So the first thing we thought when we found this was that it was some sort of modern art sculpture. It's a giant egg, to put it plainly. It's not egg-shaped exactly, but it's large, very, very large, taller than a human. It's smooth, white, feels like cold marble. There's no visible cracks, lines, seams, or anything in it to make us think that maybe there's something inside or what. So we don't know if someone just made this, but it had to be intentionally made. It's not a natural just formation of the land. So we are confused as to why it was buried so deep. If it looks like it was made yesterday is the confusing part. It couldn't be thousands of years old to be this deep down. But I was on the team that was tasked to go and look at this thing that the working crew found. And so we went to look at it, and our goal for now is to try and get it back to it's kind of like a lab that just looks over artifacts and kind of cleans up artwork, but we have a machine that we think we can try and get it in to scan it just to see if there's anything inside that we could possibly examine closer.
The sun has now fully tumbled down from the sky. No longer is it stained pink, but it is a deep indigo. There are heavy clouds which blot out the stars, but the city still twinkles and shines as the neon lights buzz into effect and the street lamps turn on. It is safe for you to wander outside to go to work. And the phone in the house rings. I was going to say the house rings, and that doesn't make any sense. The phone in the house rings. Who would answer the phone?
Who's closest? It's probably in the hall.
I mean, if an atomic bomb went off, Jessica wouldn't hear it. That's how loud her music is. So she has no idea the phone is ringing.
May would probably be the closest if she's just puttering around.
Okay. Would you like to answer the phone, or do you leave it ringing in protest of the fact that you always have to answer the phone?
No one ever calls me. She will pick it up and say, hello.
Hello. Is this May?
Yes. What?
We have a package for you. And what you hear is this obviously fake accent. Someone is doing what they can to mask who they are.
Who are you? What's...
It does not matter who we are, just that you get the package.
That's... Where is it? Oh, she's gonna call up. She's gonna call out. She's gonna be like, Femora, this is not normal. Gonna try to call for everybody if she can. Femora, Alice, she'll stomp on the ground.
As you're calling for the house, you hear the voice impatiently blurt out a number. And it is a number that you recognize as being an account number. One that you've easily figured out is associated with the mayor's office.
All right. She will get a pad and paper. No, she won't. She'll just remember it. She doesn't need pad and paper for that. And
Now stop with your foolishness.
I'm not the one trying to talk in a fake accent.
Come to the place and get the package.
She'll just hang up.
Okay. And you hang up?
Yep.
And the phone is one of these wall-mounted phones with the long, curly, twirly cord. It's an off beige color. The speaker piece is actually smeared with some of Jessica's lipstick. She was busy on the phone and it's still smeared and she didn't wipe it off because Jessica doesn't care.
She will clean the phone when she contemplates what to do. And she will probably go up to Ephemera's room.
Okay. Do you knock on the door or do you just open it?
I knock on the door. I think May has learned not to just open Ephemera's door. That's not a fair thing to do. She doesn't like that.
I think before she knocks, I just open it.
Look at you and say, I got a phone call.
Who was it?
A fake French-German person? I'm not quite sure. I have to go. It's very unusual. People don't call me here.
They asked for you by name?
They said there's a package for me.
So why are you telling me?
I guess I just wanted you to know. It's your house. They called me at your house. Technically, it's my house, but nobody calls me here. Told you.
Did they give you any more information on this package?
I have a number.
What's the number?
I think it's safer for you if I don't tell you.
Would you like me to go get it for you?
No, I was not asking you to do it for me. I just wanted you to know somebody called me. And it's important. Everybody knows. Nobody's supposed to call me here.
Ephemera, I would like you to make for me a blood check with a difficulty of 4. So to beat this check, you need to roll a 12 or higher. To figure out if you can beat the number or not, it's whatever the number is and times it by 3, and that's what you got to roll on a dice.
I got a 9.
9. So unfortunately, you failed the test. You are racked with a sudden blinding migraine. Lights flash before your eyes, and every part of you seems to throb all the way down to the short tips of your hair. And in your mind, you see a pulse. And it seems that weird seasick feeling of the world swaying around you, but you are still and you are throbbing with this pulse.
Is it
It's
painful?
something you felt before. It is semi-painful. It's definitely uncomfortable. And it's all-consuming. May has faded from your world. Just this pulse. And you felt it before. You felt it once when the egg was first brought in to the museum. And it had been brief, but this is more sustained.
So I definitely feel that something is drawing me to this egg, and something in me needs to just go down to the museum and into my lab and see what more I can do, whether I break it open with my hands or what, but something is definitely calling to me from the egg.
May, you will see Ephemera almost bend double as whatever is happening to her takes a hold of her physicality, and this strange vacant look falls across their face.
She'll try to like put her hand in front of her face. Like, hello, she's doing it again. And if you don't answer, May's just gonna stomp off in a huff. Figure you can handle yourself.
And Ephemera, you snap to with the slam of your door. It's a controlled slam. It's not a teenager full throw, but it's a pointed, fine slam as May leaves your room. That pulse remains there, dim in the back of your mind, that lingering migraine.
So I feel like I really do need to go to my lab, so I'll just grab my bag and my key card that I need to get in and just rush out of the house. I won't even speak to anybody.
You rush down the narrow stairs. They're very narrow at this part of the house as you come down from your tower, and I need you to make another blood check just to make sure that you're dexterous. This is only going to be a difficulty of 2. So that's a 6 to beat.
I got a 6.
Perfect. So you manage to hurry down the stairs, gripping the rail as you go, as this nauseated feeling just washes over you. You reach the 3rd floor, down to the 2nd, down to the ground floor, and you reach the front door. Kiana, you hear the sound of hurried footsteps. The entranceway is kind of up and across from your room, and you can hear it from your room, just over that buzz of electricity.
Yeah, Alice will kind of dust off her hands a bit, and she ends up she just steps out, doesn't bother to power anything off. Ephemera, everything all right?
She'll just kind of glance at Alice. I have to go look at the egg.
The egg?
I need to go to my lab. Why don't you come with me, actually? I don't know why I haven't thought of this before. Are you busy?
I mean, I'm always busy, but I'm always good to go to. Hold on. And we'll go inside and just like grab a bag filled with all sorts of tools and stuff. Again, not bothering to power anything off as she goes to join Ephemera.
May, you would have been aware of Ephemera rushing down the stairs shortly after you left the room. She may have even passed you in her journey, although she seemed oblivious to your presence. And you hear this conversation down in the entranceway. What is May up to?
May is gathering her things to go out to the place. And she's in a huff because she doesn't like being called out specifically. Mm-hmm. That is what she's up to. And so she's doing her hair and she's fluffing it up and she's got blue eyeshadow that she's doing. Trying to look like a perfectly acceptable Western lady. That's what she's doing right now. And she's kind of muttering to herself, pick up the thing. She's going to mumble the numbers to herself. 8675309, 8675309. And that's what she's doing.
Perfect. 8675309. Got it.
Chat liked it.
309. I like that a lot too. Perfect. Susie, Jessica's CD hits the end, and she has failed to hit that looping button. Shit. Silence is deafening. And you've got that weird ringing because you've had that music far too loud.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah, I got that whole like, I imagine like her music would end as she hears like Ephemera's door like slamming shut and Ephemera like skedaddling down the stairs. So Jess will just kind of like flop off her bed, like make her way out the door. Like as she shuts her door, something falls off her wall, but she doesn't give a shit. And just see May getting ready, be like, oh, what's this? You got a big date?
I assume you mean that as humor. I have to go out.
Oh. You don't seem happy about it.
I don't know. It's just I wasn't planning on going out. Have you seen, by the way, watch your lipstick on the phone. I had a lot to do here today.
She's just gonna go, oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna ask you about your room, but
Yeah, you would nah. Just I mean for both our sakes, just don't look. Just don't.
well, you're off the hook today because I have to go out.
Okay.
I'll be back later.
Would you like a Xanax? Some Prozac? I can hook you up. Do you want some? You seem a bit high strung.
Prozac?
I forget I said anything.
That'll kill a person. What are you doing?
We're not people.
Yes,
What? I mean,
play it cool, Jessica. Not just.
there's no one here but us. Come on. Like, if there's nowhere else we can be open, right? I'm not gonna walk down the street and be like, I drink people. No, but at home I can. Come on.
It's easier not to make a mistake if you keep it up all the time.
Right.
You don't hear me sitting here going, I vampire. No.
No, you are the perfect Karen, pottering around like a little Deborah in your penny.
My name is May and you know it.
I know. She just walks away with a shading grin like, bye!
And as you wander away through the house, down in the entranceway, Ephemera still stands by the door as she waits for Owl to return.
Okay. Right. Yeah, good to go whenever you are.
She doesn't even say anything. She just like starts walking out the door and expects her to follow.
Yeah. Shrug and will follow.
Do we have a vehicle?
Do you own a car?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I own like something really old and solid black. I want to be a badass.
You own a large ex-military vehicle. It's akin to a Jeep, something of that nature. But you had it resprayed black because you're a vampire and you have access to all the things that you could possibly want, given enough time.
And those tinted windows, like real dark.
And it is real dark. And Run DMC is calling because he wants it for a music video. But right now, it is yours. And it's not parked outside. There's actually a garage like across the street, which is used for residential parking in this area.
Okay, so I'll just like make my way beeline towards the car, hoping Al's just like behind me, jump in the seat. It's probably really far off the ground, so I'll just like jump in. I'm just like in this giant vehicle.
Do you follow Al?
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure this had happened a couple of times where I'm just asked to come along to the museum and just experiment. So pull herself into the passenger seat, no problem.
Jess, half of your household has just left. The other half is getting ready to leave. What are you up to?
Jess is just gonna be like, I live with widows, what can you do? And then she'll go over to the street, not the garage, and there's a really knackered, shitty looking motorbike that's like half of it's duct tape, like the seat has duct tape on it where the leathers come off. And I'll go try and get on it and get that started. apprehensively because it's a piece of crap.
All right, since it is a piece of crap, why don't you make a difficulty 2 roll to get this thing started?
All right. I got a 1.
With a 1, that is a GM intrusion.
Oh no.
If you had XP, you would be able to stop me from doing this. Unfortunately, it's the first GM intrusion of the game, and you do not. However, you do gain 1 XP right now, and you have an XP to give to one other player at the table. What you could do is get someone to come and help you, or you could just gift it to them as an inspiration source at this point.
Okay, so Jessica will sit on her bike. She'll try and start it, and then she'll just go, May!
May! Out in the street, you hear the cry of your name.
She turns, she looks at her, she goes right up to her closely and says quietly, "What?
What did you do last time to my bike? How did you get it started last time?
You gotta hold the clutch down, but not too much. You can't flood it. Remember, you flood it every time.
Every time. Bugs. Fuck.
Damn time.
Okay.
And indeed, the engine is flooded.
Shit.
But what's more, the twisty handle part come off in your hand. I know a lot about bikes, can you tell?
the twisty handle part.
Like, I know you do this for a bike, right?
How strong am I going to just rip it off? Oh.
You're very strong. You're a vampire.
Yeah, I mean, true, yeah.
You
Well,
still don't know your limit.
I don't. Well, I'll just kind of shove it back on and I know it's not going to fix it. I just kick it, right, while I'm walking. Have fun on your date.
It's not a date. Keep telling you. And she's gonna kick the motorcycle too.
All right. We're gonna make a might roll. Oh, what would be like a might or a strength roll? It's gonna be a blood roll for you. So we're gonna call it. Just roll. Let's just roll, and I just want to see how hard you're gonna kick this bike.
I roll this, and I want to get.
And may you get 1 point of XP from Jess's intrusion, as her bike is now broken.
Okay. So I roll this, and then I add my blood score, which is half of my... 25.
Okay. You kick this bike hard, and it not only hits the curb, but it then rolls a little bit too, as you've managed to give it enough lift to hop the curb and roll, and it now lays in the middle of the sidewalk.
She's gonna curse under her breath, and she's gonna move it back to where it's supposed to be, because it shouldn't be right there. It's not. That's not fair.
And you easily lift this bike and you pull it back to where it should be. It still kind of sits a little bit on the wonk, and you have the feeling more duct tape will be required. But for now, the bike is back where it should be, at the side of the street. And Jess, are you walking?
Yeah.
And Jess is walking away. This is not her problem. Where are you going, Jess?
I'm going to the boardwalk. I'm going to go to my arcade. To the crypt.
So to go to the crypt, you're going to need to go via the subway if you're not taking your bike. Otherwise, it's going to be a very long walk across basically the entire city, as you are in the inland historic area, and the boardwalk is right out on the ocean front.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll hop on the subway. I'm not scared of the subway.
Famous last words. Everyone remember this moment.
Shh. The subway's beautiful. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
You begin your drive down to the museum, which isn't too far from the house. And the entire ride, every traffic light causes the pulse in your head to grow. Every headlight, every reversing light, every twinkling neon sign. Photosensitivity has become a major thing for you. And as you finally pull up, you don't in fact see the parking meter at the edge of the curb. And there is a slight donk. But you have arrived. what would you like to do?
So I'm on the street.
You've parked up outside of the museum.
Okay, so I'm on the curb though.
Yeah, you're kind of like half on, half off the curb, and your vision isn't 100%.
That's right. Okay.
Effect of your failed check.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and I'm still out of my mind, kind of assuming Alice is just gonna assume what's going on and follow me and stuff. So I'm gonna just jump out, kind of slam the door shut. I have my bag with me, and then just make it quick march to the door, with my key card out and ready to, because it's closed right now. I'm assuming it's like not open. So I'm gonna go in.
The public opening hours are definitely at an end, as it probably closes around 6 or 7 for the evening, and it's now probably around 8 o'clock. You do know that you have access to the building 24/7, as you do work here and you are one of the head curators.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just use my key card to get in, and I'll kind of just hold the door open for Alice as she kind of makes her way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you manage to swipe your key, you enter any numbers into the pads necessarily, and you find yourself in the museum building. It is echoey and quiet. It has that dead feeling of a space used to having people in it, but currently experiencing an absence.
And that's one of my favorite feelings, is coming here after hours when there's no one else here, and it's just very echoey and creepy because I live for that. So I would take her down to, it's going to be like an underground thing. It's not just the below level. It's going to be far down, because this is where we keep things that aren't currently on display. That would be catastrophic if anyone found and got into and stole or anything. So it's going to be pretty far down an elevator.
Yep, so you take an elevator down to the vaults area. This is mostly climate controlled to protect the more delicate items that you have on display here. But a large portion of this area has now been cleared to make way for the egg. People weren't sure about putting the egg here. It could have been kept up, and it was a rather problematic series of events that led to it getting down here. But you had been insistent. And so there stands the egg, white, pristine marble, in the center of this space. The emergency lighting, the only thing that lights it, causing a strange off-green kind of reflection in its surface. Al, you've never seen this egg.
Huh. Well, that's new. And yeah, Al is definitely going up closer and like leaning over it, kind of going at different angles, probably a little too close, considering it could be a priceless artifact.
Ephemera, as you have come closer to this egg, it calls you all the way down here to the vaults, and now you're in here, the entire room seems to rattle with this pulse. To the point where you're surprised that Al isn't responding, because it must be audible. It feels like it's not just in your head, it feels like it's coming in through your ears and reverberating around your jaw and down into your body.
So I just want to go up to it, like I'm assuming she's standing next to it, so I'm going to go up to it and just kind of put my hands on it, and I'm feeling it, and it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and I'm just frustrated that I don't know what to do. I feel like I've spent hours and hours. It's been weeks now since we found it, I think, and we don't know what it is or what to do with it. And it's only just now occurred to me, hey, bring Alice here. Maybe she can shine some light on whatever this could be. So I will just stand there touching it and kind of start mumbling to her some information about where we found it and how long we've had it, and is there anything you can do? I don't know what else to do. It's calling to me and it's throbbing in my head, and I feel there's something here and I need it, and I don't know what it is.
Hold on, it's calling to you?
Something it's ever since we found it, I've felt a pull toward it. It's in my head. I don't know how to explain it. I feel it. Something in me it wants me to do something, and I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I mean, look at it. There's nothing. There's no seams. There's no cracks. Not even a blemish on it. It's perfect. I've examined every square inch of this thing, and I don't know what else to do.
I was at the point I had taken out a notebook and I was writing everything down that Ephemera had been saying, kind of, and then like snapped it shut. You don't mind if I touch it, right? I know that sometimes you don't like me touching some of the things in here, but
I'll make an exception for this. I need whatever this is. I need to know. I just touch it all you want. Just figure it out, please. She's kind of losing her mind at this point.
Alice lights up with a smile and cracks her knuckles. And she is going to investigate this object. She's going to pull out a device out of her bag because she's a technology adept. She doesn't use magic. Rather, she uses technology that basically emulates a lot of the magical effects in Cypher. And so she is going to pull out a device that kind of looks like it has a large screen on it in that kind of, black, and as it turns on, it's the greenish lighting on it. And she is going to use scan on this thing.
Okay.
Which essentially, I scan an area equal in size to a 10-foot cube, including all objects or creatures within that area. Area must be within short range. Scanning a creature or object always reveals its level. I also learn whatever facts the GM feels are pertinent about the matter and energy in that area. So.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to make an intellect roll, just to determine how much information I'm going to give you based on your scan. Describe for me the display, your little, I guess, LED, LCD style display on your scanner. What does it look like?
So as she turns it on, it first opens up with just a blank screen, but then all of a sudden you'll see different, almost like a box where there's a wavelength that tells how much energy is within a room. There's also other, she can use the knobs on the side and dial through different options. She can look at, what kind of materials does this resonate with when it sends out a beam of light? How does it refract back? All that stuff. So she's just going through all these different screens, just getting in all the information she can.
Okay. And what did you roll?
And what pool am I rolling again?
So it's based on your intellect pool.
Okay.
You take half that number and add it to your dice roll.
All right. Well, that's high. Half of my intellect is a 9, so that is 14 plus 9.
Okay. As you run the scanner around the egg and pick up that 10-foot space, you dial through using the knob to different settings to try and understand the readings that you are seeing. It all makes sense to you because you designed the device, but as you turn what you're being told into a logical reality, it definitely reeks of weird science. The egg is alive, but it is also dead. Ephemera is alive, but also dead. And as you flick through and you find that heart monitor setting, the egg has a pulse. It's below an audible range for even a vampire, but it is there, the small decibel ringing out of a heart, even and consistent.
And as Al finishes going through, kind of turns to Ephemera. So something's alive in there. Just so you know. Or alive like we're alive.
I think that's why I feel a pull towards it. Do you think it's somehow... It seems impossible, but could it be one of us?
I mean, I'm getting the same kind of readings that I would off of something like us. Like, doesn't read like a human or like a living animal. Like this is a alive and not alive situation. Something in there. There's like a kind of a post in there. So I don't know.
Do you see any possible way of getting inside it? I can't figure out how to crack it. It seems unbreakable.
Well, usually if something's in there, then there must have been some way to close it. So there's gotta be something. Let's see. And she'll go over and kind of start running her hands over the way that, looking for any seams, any buttons, latches, anything that seems like a way to, open or close.
As you do this, we're going to cut across to May, who wanders through the city at night, heading towards the place to get the package. For the most part, no one pays any attention to you. You are just a night walker, casually strolling through, a regular housewife even.
Mhm.
In fact, one businessman, as he comes down from his large office building, attempts to walk straight through you.
As he gets close, I'll just be like, "Hey, I'm walking here."
Hey, all right, and just he kind of mumbles as he goes away, and he yells, or he doesn't yell, but he kind of hisses a slur towards you.
She, under her breath, she'll say, "Asshole," and she'll note the time, and note that this man leaves work at this time, and to come back next time she is hungry.
All right, so glancing at your wristwatch, you see that the time is about 8:15.
8:15. All right. She makes a mental note.
And he's come down from the Henrik Bank building. So, you know.
Oh, she hates bankers the most. He's definitely going to get eaten very soon. She's going to note the direction that he's walking. She's going to take a big sniff in, see if she can smell his scent. I feel like vampires should smell really well somehow.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we make a sniff check? We'll just call this just a regular D20 roll.
Regular D20?
Yeah. And it's going to be fairly easy for you. We'll call it a 1. You can smell. We'll just see how well you can smell.
I got a 19.
19. All right. There is nothing very distracting here. Your nose hones in the nose of a predator hunting a prey.
Mm-hmm.
There's the heavy smell of menthol cigarettes that wafts off of him, mixed with a cologne. You can't place the specific brand and label. That's generally not of interest to you. It's very consumerist. But if you smelt it again, you would recognize it easily. And there's something else. As you sniff more, it's greasy, it's cheesy, it's hamburger, cheeseburger.
Ugh.
You smell his lunch.
Ugh. She's sickened by all of this. But she also, she's going to turn the corner, and if there's a convenience store, she's going to go in and buy some menthol cigarettes.
Okay. Sure, you turn the corner, and it's not on the same side of the street as you are, but across the street there is a small convenience store, which will in the future become a Starbucks.
In like 20 years, it'll be a Starbucks. Nice. She will go in and look around and go up to the shopkeeper and say, "I want, whatever the, regular brand of menthol cigarettes would be at this time in this place."
And up behind him, there's basically a wall of nothing but cigarette packets in many colors, shades, and sizes. And he pulls down 2, tosses them onto the counter in front of you for you to choose between. He said, "That one's more expensive, but it tastes better."
Those are some really heavy cigarettes. Oh my god.
What? Keyboard down.
Oh no. I'll take the more expensive ones, thank you. Thank you very
Great.
much. And can I have you have like a pack of matches? Like matches are more 80s for no reason at all.
Yeah, he grabs a little pack of matches. It's got that mustard yellow color and the red strip of abrasive down the side. And he tosses it up and he adds it to your total. He has one of those really old-fashioned tills, which has raised buttons, much like a typewriter, and it's really heavy as he pushes in the numbers. And you hear the roll of the drawer come out, and he flicks up and he pulls out the money to give you your change. Unless you're not paying. I'm assuming you're paying.
I'm paying.
You're paying.
Yes.
All right. And so yeah, he gives you your change and he flicks down the levers that hold down the bills, pushes the drawer in. With a great deal of effort, this drawer is very heavy.
Great. Well, I'll tell him. You have a good night, sir.
And you, good night.
All right. She's just going to hold those in her hand as she proceeds to her place.
All right. And I'm imagining that your squatters joint above the punk club is probably a little bit of a walk from here. So it's probably 4, 5, maybe 6 blocks down and across. And on your way is the park. Now you can skirt around the park, which will make it a longer walk, or you can go across the park.
She will go across the park. Thank you, Jordan, very much for making something spoopy happen.
Ooh. Was that a distraction?
I guess. But yeah, May's going through the park. She gives no shits.
All right.
She's strutting. She's going.
As you pass through the park, a few of the trees have been illuminated with great big garish bulbs like Christmas lights. The city has been too lazy to pull these down from the festive season, and they just stay up all year round. Some of them work, some of them don't. If you look too closely, some of them are filled with water and bugs, which possibly explains why they don't work. The park itself is relatively quiet. There's a large path that runs through the center of it, with many that branch off into the different little areas of the park. The city have done a lot of work on the landscaping here. They really wanted to add a zoo, but someone pointed out that you needed a little bit more space to cram in a polar bear, penguins, and the various things that would be expected. And as such, there is an area of the park which is churned up earthworks, where they'd started and then realized the cost and the needs weren't going to be met in this location. And it's past this earthworks that you need to travel to take the shortcut to your club. It is dark. The street lamps here have been turned off, as the electric lines would have interfered with the digging. And you have the intense sensation of being followed. Although using your ears as a vampire, which are very sensitive, and your night vision, which is very acute, you can see no one. And you can hear no one. You just have that feeling. I'm being followed. I'm being watched.
Okay. She'll start kind of singing to herself. I think something like kind of 70s, like Todd Rundgren, like something terrible, like something really cheesy and mainstream. And she's gonna take out one of those cigarettes and just start smoking it.
The match flares and the cigarette lights down to that warm ember. It's the only light in this area.
Mm-hmm. And she'll just keep it out, and she'll continue to walk, try to look like she's not alarmed at all. Trying not to tell that she knows that she's being followed.
And you continue to walk.
Mm-hmm.
And as you turn, you see the earthworks have this huge overhang. It's propped up with a wire mesh and some sort of temporary scaffolding.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a clink. Some bolt, something tumbling down onto the ground, and it rolls across the path to your feet.
She will kind of, while trying not to look like she's looking at it, she's going to try to just like take a quick glance at what this thing is. look up a little bit for a moment. Be ready to run away if there's something above her.
All right. Why don't we make a blood check to see how good your reaction is?
Okay. That's a 15.
Okay. So with a 15, I set this at a difficulty of 5. I should have declared that before, so that is a success.
Okay.
You see just in time the bending of that scaffold as the weight of the earthworks pushes down on it, the tumbling, the crashing, and in a burst of supernatural speed, you clear as a large chunk of this muddy cliff face tumbles down towards you in a mess of wire and earth. And as you look up, stood atop it is a shadow. And it is their turn in the initiative.
Oh no. Okay.
The shadow reaches into its jacket and draws a weapon. A gun, small caliber, from what you can figure out in the darkness. And it points. And it clicks. And I need you to make a defense roll. And we're going to call this... you're a vampire, so you're pretty quick. And you've seen it. So I'm going to call this a 3. You just need to roll a... Yep, you'll need to roll a 9.
A 9 or better. Okay. I want to put effort into it, but I don't quite remember how that works.
Okay, so what you would do is you would spend a number of points from your blood pool to improve your roll.
Okay. So if I spend like 2 points, then I can get a +2 to it, or is it like it's like each point is 3? Is it 3?
Yeah, each is 3.
Okay. I'm going to... Oh, no. More spoops. So many spoops.
More
Jordan.
spoops.
Jordan. All right. She's going to put 1 effort into it.
Okay.
19.
19. Perfect. You, in time to see this gun drawn and pointed, and you knew he was going to shoot.
Mhm.
Dive to the side. And tell me, where do you find yourself as you dive to the side in this area? Describe for me your surrounding.
I probably find myself under a tree, sort of in sort of like a thicket. Maybe it's like a bunch of bushes and other stuff that have been cleared away. I think that's where I'd like to find myself someplace that hopefully...
You find yourself in a small copse equivalent to the side, the opposite side of these earthworks.
Okay.
And you smell stagnating water around you.
Ew. All right. I am going to... There's somebody who has the high ground on me. I'm in this gross place. I think May just wants to try to run away as quickly as she can. Try to get to her area of power and not be here.
So yeah, that'll be a speed check.
Okie dokes.
Unless you'd like to engage your blood, it'll cost you 1 point of blood, and then you can roll with your blood score.
No, I think I'll be okay. That is 16.
Okay. You easily dive through this thicket like a startled fox or something similar, and out onto one of the small side streets that came off of the main park road, which is illuminated by lights. You can hear the city traffic as it moves around the park, but you still feel it. That presence is still following you. Though as you turn, you cannot see it. And with your ears, you cannot hear it.
All right. She's going to try to... How far away is she from the place where she's supposed to be?
You're probably half a block. You gotta get across the street and down the block.
Okay. She is going to attempt to shake this thing before she goes there. So she wants to walk around the most like high traffic areas. as much as she can, and try to get like a lot of people around and seeing her, if possible. And she wants to just try to, like, if she's being tailed, she just wants to shake.
All right, so you make your way out of the park and onto the street. There's a large crosswalk across it's probably 3 or 4 lanes of traffic that come around this park. Unfortunately, the light says don't walk, and the traffic is busily streaming, and you are stuck on the street. Behind you in the dark park, you feel that presence. Around you, though, there are people.
Okay. I will get out another cigarette and I'll ask somebody if they have a light. I just want somebody to acknowledge my existence there.
Okay. And as you wait for them to acknowledge your existence, and my stomach rumbles really loudly, ominous presence down here. Let's cut to Jess, who is also surrounded by people.
Mm-hmm.
The subway smells of urine, stale bubblegum, old sandwiches, is littered with paper, and up on the wall, posters for various events and things happening around the city. Make me just a straight D20 roll.
Okay.
Are you wearing your Walkman?
No,
You left it on the bed. Okay.
I did. That is a 16.
All right, with a 16, you notice one poster in particular. It's water stained, but it is a missing poster.
Mm-hmm.
And on the poster is the face of a girl. You can barely make out her features. The printing has leached into those blues and purples that happen when water hits printed paper. And at the bottom is a telephone number and a ton of those little pull-off tabs.
Mm-hmm. I'm guessing I recognize this number.
Yes, you recognize this number.
Okay. How many people are around me right now?
As you look around, you can see there's a man playing a saxophone in the corner with a hat.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of businessmen talking by a closed newspaper stand. And 2 women making their way through the crowd. One with a large green mohawk, which has been kind of super glued up so that her mohawk will never fall.
Nice.
The other in a tiny leather skirt and ripped fishnets.
Okay, I'm gonna sort of like slide my way over to the wall, make out I'm looking at the poster, and just very quickly.
You can easily swipe down this poster, probably pull a couple of others with it where they've all been kind of layered over each other.
Just kind of ball it up and throw it in the nearest trash can if there is one.
Unfortunately, you do not find a trash can down here on your way, and you are left with this ball.
Motherfucker, just shove it in my pocket for now.
Okay, you shove it into your denim pocket. The subway is not well known for its trash cans at this point in history. Known as being a trash can, but it's slightly different. And you make your way down. The area is a large, arched, tiled, similar to, I guess, London would be my equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
And in the tiles, there's kind of a map of the lines, and they've been chipping away a few of these tiles, and you can see also graffiti where places have been renamed and relabeled too.
Mm-hmm. I imagine I did a bit of that.
What did you write on the wall?
I don't know. She probably would have drawn something like semi-obscene on the wall. Something really dumb. Like just something really stupid.
All right. I'm imagining that you drew a giant penis with vampire wings.
Yes, that's what she drew. Yeah.
And you wrote, for a good time, call this number, and you put in the number of someone who had pissed you off.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. Yeah.
All right. And you make your way down, and the entrance to the subway in this station is actually unmanned, and it's just a turnstile where you put in a token to enable the turnstile to turn. Do you have any tokens?
Nope. I do not. Is there anywhere I can buy a token?
Unfortunately not.
Oh, I'm hopping that turnstile then. I'm doing it.
Okay. We'll just make a speed check. So you roll a d20 plus half of your speed.
All right, let's have a look. Ooh, my speed's pretty good.
Unless you would like to engage your supernatural, which will cost you 1 blood point, but that will improve your roll because you can use half of your blood points, which is a much larger pool.
No, I'm good with what I've got right now, and that would be an 18.
Okay. With an 18, you can easily hop and weave through this turnstile.
Mm-hmm.
No one gives a shit. They kind of watch you go, and the two girls that were kind of following along put their tokens in and push through after you. There's a discussion about why didn't they just do that. But the girl with the mohawk says, well, we got tokens, what's the fucking point? And there's that whoosh of warm air as you've timed it just right, and the subway train is pushing down through the tunnel with a rickety ka-tung, 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 ka-tung. Speaking of pulsing, the room is all but vibrating, and Al, you can now feel it too. As you've become aware of what this thing is, it's become aware of you.
Oh, this is what you were talking about.
And the lights begin to flicker overhead, in time with the pulse.
Oh, this is fascinating. This is so cool. I wonder if it responds to us. If it's responding to us. If it's one of us. Hold on. And she'll she'll go into her pack and casually pulls out like a knife.
Okay, I imagine that you have probably something for cutting, like shredding the plastic off of wires, something.
Yeah, essentially.
Okay.
And she'll kind of like flip into her hand and just taking like the base of her thumb, just cut into it.
All right. I'm gonna say that you are gonna take 1 point of blood damage for this, as you intentionally harm yourself.
And before the wound can heal, on the pristine surface of the egg, she's gonna slap her hand onto it.
And as you do, you feel blood pulled from your body, pulled out, and it spills out from the tips of your fingers all along, tiny veins riveting all over this marble. And it's pulling, and it's pulling, and it's draining the egg itself, vampiric. And I need you to make, I'm going to say, a might roll, unless you would like to engage your blood, which will cost you 1 blood point to do so, but then you can then use your blood pool.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use blood. Alice is not very strong.
Okay. So again, deduct 1 blood point, and then you can roll, it's a d20 plus half of your blood pool. And don't forget, I think you also have rerolls, which I completely forgot about until I just thought about it.
I do, so I'm gonna re-roll that.
Okay.
That's much better. That is a math is hard in my brain.
So you're aiming for a difficulty 5. Sorry, I should have declared that first.
Oh, okay. I my straight roll was a 17, so that would be already.
Okay, perfect. So with that, you know that if you remain in contact with this egg, it is going to drain you, and you need to use all of your strength to pull your hand away as you feel almost magnetized, as if you were a part of, an electromagnet just driven to touch this thing, and you pull your hand off, and you see there the perfect handprint left behind of your fingers and palm.
Alice is already pulling out a notebook and writing things down.
And the veins begin to pulse with light, a visual pulse.
This is interesting. This is interesting. I mean, like, that was probably really dangerous, but that was really cool.
May, above you, the sky rumbles. And with a thunderclap, the rain begins to fall down. Lightning flashes. The guy looks at your cigarette, reaches into his pocket and hurriedly finds a match, lighting it, and offering it out to you.
I will light this cigarette, second one, because I lost the other one. Say, thank you very much. And she'll try to look into his eyes very meaningfully and hoping that he might remember that she's there if she vanishes.
You know what? Why don't you make a blood roll as you try and activate a vampiric presence of sorts? A desire to be remembered.
Okay. Yes. She wants to be ID'd if she vanishes forever.
Someone remember me.
Somebody please give somebody a point on a map to know that I am here. That's a lot.
All right.
Yeah, it's 17.
Okay, so with a 17, I will say this guy is not going to forget you or this moment on this side of the street for at least 2 weeks. In the way that, you know, you see that one person in that coffee shop and you can't figure out why you can't stop looking at them. And then you kind of come away and you always think about it every time you walk in that coffee shop. Is that person going to be there? Or is that sort of vibe, that sort of experience that he's having? Not love at true sight, but you are unforgettable to me.
Good. Yeah, she's going to do that. And then she's going to try to hurry on her way as much as he can.
The rain hammers down hard and the lights change so that you can use the crosswalk. He steps off and the dip is a little bit further than he expected and stumbles, but is pushed on by the rest of the crowd that has formed around you. And you find yourself lost in the crowd. But always in the back of your mind, that feeling they could still be following. It's not a certainty anymore, but it is a dread.
Mm. All right. I'm going to keep going. I want a wide breadth. I'm not going to go to the place I'm supposed to go.
Okay.
Until I feel confident that it's not there anymore.
So as you reach this other side of the street, this is a road that's lined with, there's a lap dancing bar, there's your punk rock bar, there's restaurants, takeaways. It's a very busy, it's a very loud street. And it's reasonably well populated, even though it's fairly early for a city night. And it is the middle of the week. Where would you like to go? As the rain is really coming down now, creating a real crushing around you.
She's going to go into the most crowded restaurant that she can. And
okay. Lindy, question for you. You're getting all the food questions today. What sort of food does the restaurant serve?
What sort of food does the restaurant serve? Italian.
Italian? All right. So you come in and it's one of these big family-style Italian places. They've got a pizza oven in the middle of it, which is roaring out with heat. They've got breadsticks on the table. Everyone is eating pasta and saucy meals. And the air is ripe with garlic. Just a FYI.
All right. Yeah, not her favorite food. She doesn't love it, but she will go in anyway. And is there like a wait at this restaurant?
Yeah, there's a little stand, and you see all of the menus have been kind of shoved in haphazardly. A guy hurries over. He said, "How many for the table?" In a terrible Italian accent.
I will tell him very nicely. There's going to be 8 of us, but they're not all here yet. I think I might just have to wait for a while.
A table for 8 people. Okay, coming up.
Thank you.
And, oi, Mary, get the table ready. And they set about pushing together 2 of these tables, clearing them of the debris of someone else's meal. as quickly as they physically can.
As they're doing that, I'm gonna ask them, I'm sorry, do you have a restroom I could go to?
Yes, is at the back.
Thank you so much. She's going to go into the bathroom and wait there for like 6 or 7 minutes, and then try to, if there's a window in the bathroom, she's going to leave there, and if not, she's going to try to leave out the kitchen.
So was that a window in the bathroom?
Hope so. Yes.
Okay. I really wish, I don't know if Cypher does have a luck mechanic, but I'm going to implement one right now because it's one of my favorite things about Call of Cthulhu. So I'm going to make you make a, let's see, what is your intellect pool? We're going to use intellect for luck, I've decided.
His intellect is, her intellect, his intellect, what am I talking? I'm talking about.
No, actually, you know what we can use? We can use your humanity score. And rather than halving it, just straight add whatever your humanity score is to D20. Humans are very lucky creatures. Great. It's a miracle they've made it this far.
That is a 27.
Okay, with a 27, I'm going to say that yes, there is a window in the ladies' bathroom. It's one of those that kind of has the lever that you push out and it kind of wedges to get it open. You think it may be a squeeze? But you're pretty sure if you will it, you can make it. Paranal.
All right, I'm gonna try to get out there, and totally inconvenience these people making this big table for my party at this restaurant, which sounds honestly too delicious for the 80s. I remember food in the 80s; it wasn't as good as all that.
All right. Why don't you make? Let's see. I guess a speed roll would be fair.
Okay.
So you're being Dexy to get through here. And it's going to be, I'm going to say, difficulty of 3.
Okay. Great. I rolled a 1. Oh, no.
Okay. Would you like to award that 1 point of XP to a lovely member of your coven?
Yes. I think I'm going to give that to Alice. Because she...
Okay. So, Alice, you can mark 1 XP on your sheet. And Emma, you can also mark 1. Or you could spend the XP that you already have. I just remembered about this because you had one from earlier's intrusion to stop this intrusion.
No, I'm just going to let it happen.
All right.
I'm in an Italian restaurant bathroom. What's the worst that could happen?
The worst that can happen is that you get wedged.
Oh, God.
You've made it so that you've got one arm out, one arm is now pinned to your side, and your legs are kicking off the ground. And you feel hands around your ankles. Cold, icy cold, frozen fingers that claw and wrap into your ankles and pull.
Okay.
Along the arm that's pinned, you feel the grating of that frame hard into your flesh.
Okay.
Thank you for all the spoopy things. I like spoopy things.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I should have used that XP to overcome this, for sure. Gonna let this happen and try to see what she can do. She's going to prepare to try to scare the person who's...
Okay, so you're going to allow yourself to be pulled back into this room?
Yes, I am.
If possible. It's going to hurt, but...
Yes.
Okay.
She's going to let herself do it.
So they pull and you ease free and tumble down to the ground. And as you hit the slightly sticky tiled floor of this bathroom, the lights go out. A crack of thunder. There's a ooh from the restaurant as everyone is startled by the lights going out. And you are in the dark.
Can I see anything with my vampy?
If you turn and look around, you see the stools. One door is shut and the others kind of semi-open. But no one is here with you. Only the darkness.
She's gonna kick open the door that's closed.
All right, you turn kick. Make that might check.
17.
17. You kick and it bangs against the other door. And inside, on her knees, you see a girl wiping her nose, and she turns and looks at you and looks down at the toilet seat and wonders what the fuck she just ingested.
Oh my. She'll look at her real close, and she's just doing something.
The girl reaches up to her necklace and opens it up, and you see inside tiny baggie of what you imagine to be cocaine or the equivalent. And she's offering it out to you, but you see how her hands tremble and her lips quiver in the corners, and she cannot physically form words. So much terror have you instilled in this tiny, tiny petite woman.
May will sneer at her and say, "Weak woman, get out of here." You're muted.
She scurries and she nearly crawls under the next stool, as that's the quickest way out of here that's not going through you as you stand in the doorway. But as she goes down on her hands and knees, she kind of realizes, pulls herself up, straightens herself, and turns to the side and tries to squeeze out past you. She smells of vanilla and Team Spirit and cheap rosé and garlic.
Garlic. And cocaine.
And cocaine.
All right. She's just going to wait. She's going to wait a couple of minutes, and then she's going to go back out the front again.
As the door swings open, you get a brief view of the restaurant. It's still busy. Everyone's still eating. Candles have been brought out to the table. And as the door shuts and you're in the dark, you feel a hand around your throat grab you and lift you from your feet.
Okay. I'm going to try to attack the arm that's got me if I can. Keep trying to leave. Doesn't work.
In what way are you making your attack? And do you have any skills on your sheet which are going to help you with this?
She actually has very few combat skills. So I think what she's going to do is she's just going to try to rend. She can use light weapons. She's going to try to just tear at it with her own nails, which are slightly grown out, pointy.
All right. So let's say you can spend a point of blood to activate your blood and cause your nails to grow even sharper so that they are true weapons.
Cool. I will do that. It'll be like Sid Shield's cool nails. They're like that. They're cool.
Great.
She's going to do that, and
I'm going to say, actually, for extra flavor, as they grow, they are painted a perfect lacquer red.
awesome.
You are a true woman on a mission. And you dig them in. Sorry, what did you roll?
I didn't roll yet. Might
All
roll, right?
Yes, and since this hand is around you, we are going to go with a might roll of a 4. This one.
I got a 22.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So easily. You grasp onto this form and you feel it attempt to dissipate under your grip. But you find something real in it and you dig those fingers in and you cause damage. And a hand releases on your throat, but you still have it in your hand. And you drop back down the foot or so that you were lifted from the ground.
All right. As I do that, I'm going to try desperately to see if I can see what's doing this to me in the dark.
You see nothing but darkness.
All right. If that's the case, she's gonna call out to it quietly. you'd better come out if you know what's good for you. Are you just a coward? And I want her to use her terrifying presence. She wants to attempt to convince this thing that she is terrifying.
All right, go for it.
All right, so, let's see. You convince an intelligent target of level 3 or lower that you are its worst nightmare. So I have to apply levels of effort in order to do it.
Okay, while you figure that out for me.
Okay.
Jess, in the back of your mind, you hear May's call to come out. It's strange. She's not here, and she's not in. It's not clear as if it's being spoken directly into your head. There's a distance to it. There's an echo to it. But you hear the call of May.
Do I have like a direction of this call, or is it just in my head? Like,
It's just in your head. It's like maybe it was down the tunnel, maybe it was behind you, maybe it was just I just imagined it.
huh? Are there any like payphones around here?
As you take a look around, there is no payphones down here in the subway. And on the platform.
Oh well, I mean, yeah, I'm on the platform. That wouldn't make sense. Shoot.
We'll see the gal in the short skirt and the ripped fishnet. She has her Walkman in, and you can definitely hear what she's listening to. And it sounds like Cyndi Lauper right now.
Nice, good choice. I'm kind of looking around frantically. I don't know. Ow! I hit my microphone a lot. I don't quite know what to do right now. I'm gonna head back out. I'm not gonna go to the boardwalk if May sounds like she's in trouble. Do I know where May's like spot is? Her club? Or has May kept that a secret?
Would Jessica know about your meeting place? Emma, does Jessica know about your meeting place? We're enjoying a lot of trivia back here. In chat.
Yes, I'm pretty sure Bleach was in 1989. And they had like 2 other releases before that.
We're discussing Nirvana being 80s and 90s. The whole thing.
So
Jessica said you're cool. Would she know where your meeting place was?
she might, just because like if it's like it's upstairs from a punk club, you might have like run into me coming out of there before.
Yeah, I like the idea that Jess has been to the punk club and then they've come out at the same time, like, hello.
Hello.
So, yeah, I feel like if May's anywhere, she's usually there or like an undisclosed secret location. So I'd head there and try and find like any sign of her or see if that call gets louder or anything as I'm getting closer.
Okay, it's probably going to be quickest if you actually hop on the subway.
Okay.
But you are welcome to obviously go above ground and walk, but you would have to cross the park.
Nah, subway's cool. I'll hop on the subway.
All right, and the train is there, and the 2 girls have boarded. As you get on, your carriage is graffiti to high hell, to the point where the graffiti has graffiti babies, and nothing makes any sense. The seats themselves have been torn up, and they have faded, ugly patterned fabric. The bars, one of them has actually been pulled down and bent in a strange shape. But you are alone in this carriage. The 2 girls have chosen the next one up.
Yeah, okay. I'm happy in here by not touching any surface at all. I'm not even leaning against the wall. I'm just going to stand like in the middle.
Okay, and you stand in the middle. Are you using your supernatural poise to maintain your balance as the subway train takes off with a juddering start?
Yeah, I feel like she would. Like, you know, just a low-key flex.
All right, so you're going to need to spend 1 blood point to do this. But you don't need to roll.
All right.
It's easy enough to stand. You just have to activate your supernatural powers to maintain it. And it judders and it takes off. May, how did that roll go?
Okay. This roll, it depends on this thing's level of intellect, whether or not I succeed or not, I think.
All right, what's your target?
My target was whatever was trying to choke me.
I mean, what is your target number for it to succeed?
Oh, my target number is, I think if it's level 3, that would mean my target number would be 9. But if it's got more intellect, then it will be incrementally higher. I rolled a 16. So.
Okay. I will say, yeah, I think this is going to work. I didn't write down its intellect, so I'm going to say this works.
Awesome. So I in my
describe for me the scene.
As I am imploring this thing to come out and show itself, I reveal the beast within to it. Whether or not that manifests physically or not, I am not sure. But it believes me to be a thing which it finds most terrifying, paralyzingly so, and it cannot move as it sees my true power for a moment.
And you see in the dark, for the briefest of moments, an outline materialize, a shadow within the shadows, a form, much like the one you see on top of the earthworks. But then the door of one of those stalls that had just been slightly ajar creaks. And you have the sense of movement. And as you focus, you see the shadow that you have a hold of, its head turns and it looks. And as it does, through the window, moonlight creeps in from between clouds as the storm passes for the briefest of moments, and the gun glints. And I need you to make a speed check.
Ooh.
Assuming you would like to not be shot.
I would prefer to not be shot, thank you.
Or of course you can activate your blood and use your blood.
I rolled an 18.
Perfect. You slide to the side is probably the most efficient way to move, and into that stall that you'd been emerging from. Would you like to let go of the shadow that you have a hold of?
No, I'd like to keep it with me.
All right, and you drag it with you, and you leave it in front of you, almost as a body shield, as you hear the crack and the sound of a silenced bullet whistles and hits the tiles in the wall behind where you'd previously been standing. Small bits of plaster and ceramic crumbling down. Speaking of crumbling, the pulsing of the egg has intensified, and the veins have begun to grow, widen, broaden, and bright light. But still you hear the pulse, and still you are both drawn to this object.
I'm just excited that finally something is happening, so I'm standing there just staring at it in awe. I feel like the pulsing is getting stronger and stronger, that it's kind of overtaking me. But I'm just ecstatic that something is finally happening to this mystery that has been taunting me basically for weeks now.
Al, what are you doing?
Al is taking as many notes as she possibly can.
One thing that you would like to also note is you have been drained of 6 blood points.
Oof.
Egg.
All right.
The egg is hungry.
Yep.
And yet, even as the veins have widened and the pulse continues, there's still a sense of anticipation and frustration as nothing else seems to be progressing. Something more must be done.
I think that I'm going to try and do the same thing.
Okay.
So I will just cut my hand a little bit and mimic her actions.
All right, so with the initial cut, that's going to cost you 1 blood. And do you place your hand in the same spot or in another spot?
I'll do it right next to it.
All right.
Like kind of overlapping a little bit, but like right next to it.
Okay. Place your hand down, and the same sensation begins as it begins to drain blood through the cut that you had made. And you see your blood filling out a new set of veins that covers the egg. and connecting up with the other capillaries and becoming a mass and a maze across the marble surface. And the glow and the pulse intensifies, and that migraine picks up in the back of your head as the egg sucks and sucks. And what would you like to do as you are being drained of your blood?
Part of me feels like I should pull away, but part of me wants to just keep letting it take. Because that throbbing in my head is like pushing me forward. Like it feels like I'm needed right now.
So you can make the decision for your character, or you could roll an intellect.
Oh, I'll roll. That's a good idea.
Okay, so that's a d20 plus half of your intellect.
Is it so? It's 15. Would that be 7 or 8?
Yes.
7.
Yeah, 7. Round down.
Oh, I got a 9 total.
9 total. Okay, I think the previous test was for 4. And you are so drawn by the mystery and the need to solve mystery that you cannot tear your hand away, and you want to see this through to the point where it doesn't matter to you that it's taking the blood that it's taking. Al, you see the glazed expression wash over Ephemera's face as she stares down onto this egg and onto the map of blood that is creating across the surface. What are you doing?
This doesn't feel right. Al is just gonna kind of seeing the glazed look, probably having done this once. So go behind Ephemera and like see if she looks like she's about to be like drained to the point where she's not going to be able to tear herself away. She's just going to try to tear her.
Okay, let's make another insight roll. I'm going to set a target of, I'm going to say, 2 difficulty to see the medical condition of your friend.
Right. That is a... Is it half intellect or full?
Half intellect.
All right, that is a 16 total.
16 total. So you make it. You can see that she is losing a lot of blood, and you know from your own experience that you too lost some, and had you not, you believed that the egg would have drained you. But you do also see the progress that the egg is making, and your scanner is making whatever alert you've equipped it to do to show that it is reading additional signs and information which would indicate to a change within the egg. So that's the information you have, and how you act on it is up to you.
Yeah, so basically the thing is that I want to get to the point where the egg is starting to do things, but I don't want Ephemera to die. So kind of like a fun balancing act here.
One suggestion that comes into your brain would be to add your own blood to the mix, and therefore it would not be draining from just one source, but it would be draining from 2.
Yeah, so she'll do that. She'll nick that now closed wound up again and place it where her hand was before.
So that'll be 1 more blood loss for you. Ephemera, you suffer a total of 8 blood loss. But as the 2 of you join and you feel the pulse, and you are bathed in this red glow as the veins all ignite at once, there's a shh. And the top surface of this egg evaporates. And pouring out like dry ice, this fog, lit by ominous red light from below, and a form emerges in the middle of it. Long blonde hair, and a pristine white dress, pale skin, but red lips. Ixis, you're awake.
Around. first thing. And I'm not at home. So her already large eyes go like even wider. And I'm guessing if I look over, there's two people kind of just standing there next to my bed.
In fact, holding over you, two palms nicked with a dullish blade, which drip blood down into your bed.
Oh no, that little stain. I will like sit up and then like just kind of like, hi, hello. Oh, where am I exactly? And I'm just gonna kind of like gently kind of move their hands so it's not over my bed, just a little bit.
I'm still in shock right now because that is not what I was expecting to come out of this egg.
Okay, maybe it's not English. Okay, guten Tag. No? Okay. Let's see, what else? Ciao. No, is that goodbye?
I'm sorry.
English worked. Hi. Hello. Greetings.
I have several questions.
Likewise. I would be more than happy to exchange information.
Just like look over at Ephemera, kind of like, is this a thing that happens in your museum? I don't know.
No.
So,
Lightning, thunder, rain, a storm, unheard in the vaults, but worsening above ground. Jess,
Mm-hmm.
much like Ixis, you're wondering where you are as you run through the crowds, the neon-stained puddles, trying to remember exactly where this punk place is. You were pretty trashed the last time you were here.
Yeah, sounds about right. As I'm running, I'm trying to either listen for May or try to shout back in my head, and I'm like, how do you even do that? And I'm like, just thinking really hard, like, May, you okay?
You hear no answer. But you're not sure it hasn't worked.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what your limits are.
Yeah, so I'm just sprinting. I feel like I would try and use secluded areas like dark alleys and stuff like that, and I would move at like a supernatural speed because this feels important.
Okay, so if you spend that 1 blood point,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm going to need you to make a roll, and you can roll it with blood rather than using your speed. So it's half your current blood score.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I'd do that.
And I'm going to say you need just a 2.
Okay.
It's a little bit more tricky because it's wet and there are people around.
I got a 34.
Ooh, boy. You turn down an alley. You jump over the cardboard boxes that are inevitably there in the way. You climb up a fire escape, which slides down beneath you, but you are already 4 rungs up by the time it hits the ground. You cross a rooftop past a steaming vent on the top. A flock of pigeons that are being kept in one of those coops stirs and shakes and coos inside, but you are faster than them. Around you, the lightning is striking out in the city. A fog is growing, but you don't care as you carve your way through the mists and the storm. And then you hear it before you see it. That song that they always play, it's come up again, and you drop. You let the wind and the air take you and drop down into the alley alongside the punk club that you are familiar with. There's the smell of smoke and just a mixture of cigarettes and marijuana and drugs. That's the overwhelming smell, a little bit of urine. And sweat. Lots of sweat.
I feel like I would take a deep breath to see if I could smell May. I assume she smells of like house cleaner and whatever cheap perfume you can get at a supermarket. I don't know what May smells like.
May, what does communist vampire smell like?
Smells like shared public property. She smells like, gosh, like baby powder and like roasted chicken, because she cooks even though she doesn't eat. She smells like that. And she also smells like there's stuff that you put on your hands when you work with documents a lot that lets you like stick to it when you were in government places. She smells like that, and like latex gloves, because you have to do that a lot when you're in government work too. It's like, you know, so you don't hurt your hands. That's what she smells like.
Okay.
So you inhale the air and try and cut through to find that adhesive and the latex, to find the cleaning products as she had just been cleaning and dusting and whatnot. And none of that is here. In fact, you're pretty sure this place hasn't seen a cleaner since about 1971.
I'll just grab like, is there a bouncer? Probably a bouncer, right?
Yeah, there's a large gorilla-sized man at the door. He's got a trilby on at a jointy angle, various fake jewelry just crammed around his neck.
Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, have you seen like this middle-aged kind of broad, curly hair, very mum vibe about her?
There's just a booming laugh. Is this a joke? And he like waves a hand at the building. The windows are basically black from just cigarette stain. At this point, there's a very faint blue neon light just beyond that. You can see shadows moving where the people inside are.
Buddy, I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't think she would be here.
I ain't let anyone in like that, no.
Cool. What about upstairs? You seen anyone come in? Leave?
Ain't no one go upstairs. The squatters up there.
You're not a very good bouncer, are you?
I watched the door. This door.
All right, well, good luck. And then I'll go around to the corner and I'll like, are there any sort of windows upstairs?
I imagine there are probably a couple of windows on the, what would be like an apartment or would have been an apartment.
Yeah.
Area.
Is there a fire escape?
Yep.
I'll hop up the fire escape and try and look inside.
All right. So you get up the fire escape. Again, it's slippy because it's been raining and it's still raining. And you peer in, and the windows have been kind of whitewashed, kind of keep people out, but conveniently someone has thrown a brick through one of them. And you peer in there, and it's just gloom. But what else can Jessica make out in the gloom of this apartment, May?
In our squatter haven.
In your meeting haven, yeah.
There's probably some like posters of like Soviet stuff. There's a small portrait of Leon Trotsky in a corner in a gilded frame. There is or a Trotsky-like person in this world. You might not know who he is, but you see a Russian derpy looking dude. There is it's probably just really dirty mostly. You might see like there might be like boxes of like preserved milk, like juice boxes, but they're milk, and some other various like prepper type supplies here and there.
How much has May let on about her political leanings to the coven?
She probably wouldn't hide it, but she probably wouldn't dwell on it too much.
So if I peered in here and saw all the Soviet stuff, I'd be like, yep, this is May's place.
Probably.
Okay, I'll just go, May, you in here? May?
And there is no answer from the apartment. May, someone just tried to shoot you. You've dived into a stall to get out of the way. The Shadow Man dragged with you. But there are others here. You can feel them.
How do I have the shadow that I have secured? Like around his, like that?
Well, I think you kind of grabbed him by his wrist as he was choking you. I don't know if you've re-grabbed him to get a better grip since then. It's up to you.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I'm in a bathroom with a magic shadow man. I'm going to try to drown him in a toilet. It's like, what else do you do with that? That's what she's going to try to do.
All right. If you want to use your regular strength, you roll with the might. If you want to use vampire strength, you roll with blood and you deduct 1. And you get a little hungrier.
I'm going to roll with blood.
All right.
That's a 15.
Okay. Grab this dude's head straight in the toilet. And you see as his face, or what should be his face, hits the liquid, it seems to fade away. His body struggles and shakes and kicks out, attempting to free itself from your grasp, but is unable to.
All right. So its face literally fades away into nothing.
Seems to.
Murmur to herself, running water in all places.
You hear the doors creak as one of the other stalls opens, and you hear the sound of a gun, like once more, being cocked as 2 men peer over your shoulder into the stall.
Okay.
The gun is pointed in a threatening way, but you see his finger is not currently on the trigger.
Okay. If she sees that, she'll just look at them and just say, just what do you want? You gonna do it? Or not?
And the man on the left who doesn't hold a gun holds out a hand. You see it manifest from the darkness of the bathroom, forming and becoming more solid, but still part of the shadow. No voices. In fact, you have heard no sound from these creatures the entire time. Only ever the gun.
Wants me to take its hand. What should we do? I'll take its hand. It could kill me.
Okay, I need you to...
Why not?
Excuse me, sorry. I need you to roll... Let's make a blood check. I think blood, and is a difficulty of 5.
Okay, so
this isn't going to cost you a blood point to use. Just use your blood.
Okay. All right, so I got to roll pretty well. I got a 19. That's really good.
It is really good.
That's fortunate.
That is really good. And as the shadow touches your hand, you feel a coldness in your veins, unlike anything you've felt since you've become what you are now. And it's kind of icy hot. It's that cold. It's so cold you don't know if it's hot or cold. And it's running up your arm, across your body. And around you, the shadows shift and morph. And you find yourself in an office. Outside, the lightning strikes. And you see the filing cabinet in the corner. You see a desk. You see a computer screen. It's a large, white, boxy thing. The dot matrix type screen. The large tower and a mess of wires underneath. You don't recognize this office, but you know it is an office. There's nothing else that it could be. And on the screen is one word, password, ? And they push you down towards the chair. And their grasp is nearly impossible for you to resist.
Okay. I'll do what they want. I'll sit down. They want me to try to enter a password in a computer I've never seen before, correct?
Correct. And as you perhaps pause and take stock of this moment, you become aware this office is filled with people. Not people, shadows. And they are all waiting, grouped around you, staring at the screen. The one that had been in your grasp appears completely absent, so you have no part of it left.
Okay. I'll ask all of them, what do you expect me to do with this?
A ghostly finger reaches out and taps the screen, pointing to the password.
You want me to put a password? Password? I don't have any passwords. What are you trying to... She'll just like, how many characters is it?
It appears to be about 9 characters long.
9 characters? Yeah, she's just gonna type in numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. You type in 1 through 9 in the keyboard. Nothing happens. You try it in reverse. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Also does not work. Nor does password with any combination of numbers that you would attempt to input. Thanks, Zoom chat, for all of the suggestions.
Password 1.
Each time you hit enter, it just goes back to password, ? And that little dash that just flickers on and off to indicate that something should be inputted. While you think about that, Al, Ephemera, you input the password. Password in this case was blood, taken from your own body, and you have opened up the egg. Ixis, what's going on?
Well, they're not bleeding on my bedding anymore, which is nice. I've set up and requested to know where I am currently located, and they seem to be confused. I have determined that they speak English. They're just apparently in a state of mild shock. It's fine. It happens. Again, where exactly am I? Are we?
Well, for starters, we're deep under the ground.
Okay.
We're I'm sorry, what do you have a name?
Oh, incredibly rude. I am terribly sorry. My name is Ixis.
All right, Ixis. Did you know that you've been buried underground for a really long time?
How long? What year is it?
We have no clue how long you've been under there. But you're alive somehow, so... What's the last year you remember?
Oh, gee. I think it ended in like a 33.
1933?
83. You know, it's been a while.
You've been under the ground since 1953?
Well, what year is it currently?
It
Would be 1980.
We said 83, right?
yeah,
It's somewhere between 83 to 87. Just
Yeah, sure, it's fine.
In that area.
Oh, I believe then that I have been in stasis for quite some time.
So you've been underground since 1953?
Sure. Yes.
That's like 30 years. How are you still in this container? I mean, I understand why you're still alive. I
Hold
think.
it This is my sleep pod. I went into stasis and to sleep for a long time.
How did you feed?
I didn't eat. I ate a rather large meal before I went to sleep.
Forgive me if I'm somehow off, but you're undead, correct?
Yes, I am a vampire. Wait, are you human? You don't.
No.
No.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. Yes.
I
Yes,
think
am a
that's why
vampire.
we were drawn to you, so I'm glad that... Okay.
So you're a vampire.
Yes.
There'd been in some technology that I look at ephemera as I
It's
say
like
this.
glowing on the inside
Yeah.
with like blue lights, and it's like white and.
That and and right before I look at ephemera that hasn't been invented yet.
What hasn't been invented yet? I don't
This
understand.
whole thing. This would not have been happening in the 50s. I tried.
You're
I
very
love it.
clever. Well, it may be perchance that the last year that I can accurately recall would be 2383.
Ephemera.
Oh. Right, okay. I can't even do the math off the top of my head, but that's a long time that you have been in this
It
egg.
would appear that I have been asleep for quite some time. Yes.
That'll be about
I'm
50.
very
something
hungry.
years.
Do you have any? Is there food?
But wait, that's
I just sorry. It
down
just,
the road. How would it... Wait a minute. 20... What?
It would be about 50 years from now if she's telling the truth.
2383.
2383.
So
Oh, 83.
300.
Oh, that's a long time. All right. Yeah.
But you're somehow buried underground here for who knows how long.
Well,
We
I
just dug you up.
did attempt an experiment in which I really wanted to go into the past and meet a lot of humans.
What's so special about humans? Are you hungry? We can get you some food.
Well, yes, I am very hungry, but no, I really want to learn what humanity is like. I have read as much as I can about it. She'll kind of like dig underneath like a pillow inside of her little pod and pull out like a Vogue magazine and from like the 60s. Pull out another magazine, like a fashion magazine, and then like a very worn and kind of almost decrepit book. It's called Tom Sawyer.
Oh my god.
As much research as I can.
You want to meet a human or are you hungry?
Yes. What? The two are fairly unrelated. No?
In what way are they unrelated?
Well, do you not have pills or like their nutrient packets to consume?
Nutrient packets? Alice, do you have these things?
That's what I'm working on.
Oh, fascinating.
Okay, well, it's good to know that's possible.
Yeah, they come in like a little silver pouch, and then you put a straw in them, and then you just drink it.
We just bite straight into the humans.
Wait,
usually.
you bite them? Why would you bite them?
That's why we have.
Sounds very barbaric. Are you sure this is 1983?
I mean, you don't have to. I drink it out of a teacup sometimes. You can buy it.
I mean, that's a
Oh, I did bring. There's not currency. However, I have brought some things that could possibly be exchanged for currency. And she'll kind of like reach again into them, pull out like a couple pieces of jewelry and like a bar of precious metal. I have been informed that these would be considered valuable in this era and could be exchanged for currency.
I mean, and we can take you to a pawn shop.
Pawn shop?
You give them crap and they give you money.
Yes, I require currency.
All right.
And food. I'm very hungry. But I suppose we'll have to get the currency before food.
Yeah, let's... Okay. If you don't want to bite a human, we're going to have to do a little bit more work.
You bite them?
You can ask them if they'll let you, and you can sometimes convince them to just let you.
But why would you bite? I mean, I understand that humans make the nutrients that we require, but you eat them?
Well, I mean, we don't really have any other way of doing so. I mean, we can get you blood bags from the hospital, but it requires a little bit more work.
Well, I am open to learning new experiences. This just it's a lot. I don't really know much about this time except for, and she'll kind of hold up the books again. Except for what I've been studying.
The front cover of the fashion magazine shows a man and a woman in matching knitted pullovers walking a dog through a park. It's a book of knitting patterns and similar things.
F, I think we should probably go to my person for this.
A human? Do we get to meet a human?
Not quite a human, no, but there will be humans there.
I would love to meet the humans.
Right. Kind of like looking at Ephema, being like,
Just nodding. Yeah. Okay.
Also, what are your names?
Oh, right. Stick out my hand. Alice, Al, whatever you want to call me.
All right, Alice, and
Ephemera, and I pointedly do not stick out my hand.
okay. It's a pleasure to meet you. And she'll kind of like step outside of her pod and then like kind of reach in and flick a switch, and it's like a cover is just going to kind of go over the opening in the top. There's stuff inside of it.
Yeah, I was wondering what we were going to do about that after we left. I was like, do I need to hide it? Because my colleagues will probably come look at it since we're still trying to figure it out.
So what reforms is now a flat lid. So it looks as if the egg has been dissected into two and one large part remains here. The other part mysteriously appears to have vanished. Something for you to explain, perhaps in a note.
All right. Okay. Let's go see Sunny.
It's bad for us.
And as three vampires, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying I can lead them up through the elevator. It takes my key card again.
As the three vampires try and figure out where they're going and what they're going to do, make their way out of the museum, Jess, you become aware of, in the dim of this apartment by the door, there's a file that's half sticking out, as if it's been pushed from the other side.
I'll try and grab it.
Okay, you're going to need to go into the apartment to get it.
Oh yeah, I'm in. I don't care about breaking and entering.
Okay, the best, so you can either destroy the rest of this window, or you can dematerialize yourself using a blood point and rematerialize yourself.
I'll do that because it's cool.
The problem with this, however, is you have not been invited into this place.
Oh, that's true.
And it would give you at least pause for second thought before you did this.
But also might be in trouble, so I'd still do it, even if it was at like great personal discomfort.
All right. So and you rematerialize on the other side of the broken window, you have a sickening unease in your stomach. And checks made within the space are going to be much more difficult than they were before, and you feel the unending need to get out because you have not been invited.
Yeah, so I'll just make a beeline for that file, and then I'm back out again.
Right. Zoop. And then do you use your mist trick again to get back out?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, this time I'm going to need you to make a roll.
Oh no.
And it's going to be, I'm going to say a 6. This is very difficult because you have not been invited.
Okay. Can I add like my blood to this?
Yes.
Okay. That is a 16.
Okay, and a 6 times 3 is an 18.
No.
And as such, unfortunately, what happens is you, and then you instantly, and you have to try and get a hold of yourself as the blood doesn't do what it was meant to do. And you are now trapped, facing the hole in the window, with the file in your hand.
Oh, fuck. And then I just like smash the glass. At this point, I'm like, out.
Do you cover your fist at all with your jean jacket, or are you just going straight with your fist?
No, I would cover my fist first with my jacket.
Yeah, I thought you would probably think of it, but just... All right. Yep, so you break out the rest of this glass and you climb out of this window back onto the fire escape. File in hand.
I'm gonna move away from the scene of the minor crime I just committed before I stop to read this file. And I'll go out somewhere secluded to give it a read.
When you say secluded, what are you looking for?
Like somewhere dark off the main road where it's likely people aren't gonna just like see me. You know, like even if it's just like a nook between two buildings or something, you know, just like a little...
if you continue down this alley, there's a car park, something of that nature.
Yeah, something like that would be real cool, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, you find one of those metered car parks where you put money in the machine and the arm comes up and you go in and arm comes down. It's a relatively small one, but it's relatively populated with cars right now, as it's, you know, a busy time of evening and you're by the entertainment kind of area.
So I'll sort of like go into a far corner, like away from the main entrance, and like duck down between two cars so I'm not very visible at a glance, and then I'll read this file.
Okay, and as you open the file, May, what is the password?
I want to say the password is like a combination that my boss uses for the locker that they have or something like that. Can it be that? It's like a random series of numbers.
A password that you shouldn't know, but you do. And that is the password you're going to try.
Yes.
Let's go with a lucky roll. So using your humanity, just use the whole 4.
Okay.
And I'm going to say we're looking for a difficulty of 5.
Okay.
Don't forget you have rerolls, and you can also spend blood points to assist.
All right. I'm going to give this a shot and then reroll. That's good. I've been rolling very well on my tabletop loot dice today. I got a 24 on that.
Perfect. Don't forget the code is WebDM15, 15% off all of your tabletop dice needs.
That's the password in the computer. It's crazy. Yeah, 24.
All right. The password is Jim Davis 6. As you type it in, and suddenly the screen fills with zeros and ones, and the computer begins to process. And well, you have no idea how you knew it would be your boss's password that you needed, but apparently it worked. And the numbers scroll up and up. Jess, you find the folder is full of mostly blank sheets of paper. But in the center of it, wrapped in an envelope, is what appears to be a photo roll that needs to be developed. A little canister.
I'm just going to tuck that into my pocket.
And you see written on it in a white paint pen is Al.
Okay. Is there anything else in this folder? Anything else of note? Just
blank sheets of paper, the kind that you would get on printing reams with the perforations down each side.
Just be like, what the fuck is she messed up in? What is this?
You hear a couple having an argument as they make their way across the car park. The man claims he is perfectly capable of driving, and the woman insists that she should give him his keys.
I'll just, Does he smell like he has a lot of alcohol on his like person? Does he smell of alcohol?
As you kind of tap into those vampire senses and sniff, once you get past the smell of petrol and diesel and car smells, there's definitely a waft of some cheap ass beer.
Okay. I will pop up my hiding place and walk as if I'd been there the entire time. And as I go past, say, you should give her your keys. You stink.
And you see it in his eyes, a flick of an aggression turning on as he turns with fist raised to punch you.
I want to duck out of the way.
All right, so it's going to be a speed check, unless you like to activate your blood and use your vampire.
I'll do a speed check.
Okay, so it's a d20 plus half your speed. I'm going to say to avoid this fist, you need difficulty 3.
Okay. That is 19. Sorry, I forgot what 7 plus 12 was.
So yeah, you duck. Do you swerve? How do you avoid the fist?
So what I want to do is I want to like sort of duck down and then come up with a right hook.
Okay.
Right into his nose. I want to just smash him in the nose.
Just like uppercut.
Yeah.
Sure. Now make me that might roll to see how good a punch it is.
Okay.
Because you duck down and you pull your fist up to come out swinging too.
That is an 11.
An 11. Yeah. So, yeah, that's more than mine. So yeah, you come up and you break his nose. You hear that crunch of cartilage, and you smell the blood as it pools and begins to just pour from his nose.
And I point at him and say, now she has to drive because your fucking nose is broken. Now walk away before your spine gets broke.
Fucking bitch. And he's kind of scrambling to get a hold of himself as he's like trying to see through smeary eyes as they're watering. His hand, he has the key in the other hand.
I'm stood there.
Flick that key into between his knuckles as he's considering throwing another punch. And the woman is just screaming. She has no idea what is going on.
Mm-hmm. I'm stood firm and resolute, staring him down. Walk away right now.
Okay, so let's make this would be like a charisma kind of check.
Ooh.
I'm trying to think what the stats are. I think we'll base it on intellect.
Intellect.
Kind of use your knowledge of what scares people.
Uh-oh.
Or you could use your humanity roll as the other option, but I think your intellect's going to be bigger because your humanity is half your intellect.
That is a 20.
Ooh, so that's fine. So he's thinking about it, and you call him out. And for the briefest of moments, he knows what you are in his gut. Like a rabbit knows the car is going to smush it in the road. He knows that you are a bigger monster than he is. And he kind of stumbles back and away from you, blood just still dripping everywhere. His shirt is now stained and the stain is bleeding out. The woman is just screaming and she's like trying to grab him to drag him away. But she's not interfering with you because you can see in her eyes she knows what a monster is too. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I'd like to make sure they're walking away, and as they do, she can't help but like I'm fucking badass. That was so cool. Smile appears on her face, and as they're out of her vision, and as she walks away, she'll like lick his blood off her knuckles and smile to herself as she walks away.
All right, and you do that, and they get into a red soft top car, and you hit that rev, and the exhaust has definitely had a hole drilled into it to make it sound bigger than it actually is, and just the wheels kind of skid in the gravel of the car park. or the tarmac, I guess. It's called tarmac. And they nearly don't stop in time for the barrier. He nearly drove straight through that barrier. You put that much fear into him.
All in a good night's work. And then I'm like, now where the fuck is May?
All right, where the fuck is May? May is staring at a computer screen that has been filled with zeros and ones for a long time. And then finally it opens up and it says name ?
She types in like Catherine Smith.
Okay. You type in Catherine Smith, and up on file appears a file on a Miss Catherine Smith who lives on West Street. She owns 1 dog and 2 cats, and there's just a ton of personal information here as the file loads up.
Okay. She looks at it, and then she exits out of it, and then she types in the name of her friend Bradley.
Okay. You type in Bradley's name, and up comes Bradley Walsh. Wait, is that actually a person? Not Walsh. Bradley Carmichael. That's the name.
Oh, that's good.
Bradley Carmichael. And it has his address, and it has banking information, tons of personal information, including his current girlfriend's name.
Oh, I note that.
His current girlfriend name is Francesca Welsh. Since I can't use Welsh, I'm using Welsh.
All right.
And you feel the presence of the shadows move closer as they come to see what you were doing.
I exit out of it immediately when they do that, and I turn around and scowl at them. Want me to just do my work? Is that what you want?
They shake their heads, and it's in perfect unison, as if they are all the same person, but they are all separate identities. And then one offers out his hand again. It occurs to you that they just wanted in.
Just wanted in this thing. She will slowly get up from the computer. She'll brush herself off. She'll tuck in the chair. And she'll look at them and take their hand.
Okay. Make me another might or blood check.
Gonna do a blood check. What's my target?
Your target this time is going to be 5, as you've already done this one.
Okay.
Because I think it was 7 last time, right? Something like that.
Was it?
High. I think so. It was pretty high. 6 or
Nice.
7. We'll make it 4, because then that's definitely lower.
Nice.
Definitely more than 5.
Yeah, I rolled a 16. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Yes, 4 more than you needed. And again, you feel that biting cold, that bitterness in your veins, and the world around you shifts. And you are now stood back in the middle of that Italian restaurant. As the lights come on, the table for 8 is set and waiting for you.
I'm inside the actual restaurant. I'm not in the bathroom anymore.
Nope, you're not in the bathroom. You're in the middle of the restaurant.
Okay. I will look very, very nicely at the maitre d', and as I'm taking out a bit of a cigarette, I'm just going to see. Thank you. I'm going to see where the people, where the rest of my party is. Thank you. This is beautiful. Thank you so much, and get out of there as quickly as possible.
The special today is linguine.
Yeah. She's running away.
And you get outside and you wait until you're clear of the glass windows and you hoof it down the street. Where are you going?
Do I still feel the shadowy presence on me?
You have that sensation of they could still be there, but not the sensation of I know they're there.
Okay. If that's the case, I'm going to run to my spot as quickly as possible because I got to go and do the thing that I needed to do. And it seems like they can come and get me whenever they want. So I'm just going to go.
And so you run to your spot. It's at this moment that Jessica is walking back up the alley towards the front street. Jess,
Okay.
you see May running towards you.
May, you okay?
Yes. I'm what are you doing here? Jess?
You sort of screamed in my head.
I screamed in your head?
Yeah.
What are you, Jess? What are
Look,
are you on something? Are you taking something?
No, not right now. Usually yes, but not right now. Look, I was about to go in the subway, minding my own business, not sitting in piss, and then I hear you scream in my head, and then I'm like, and I came to the only place that I've actually seen you outside because I'm not convinced you actually go outside, and then you're not here.
Where did you go?
To this spot. I was like, I went to the window to see if you were there. Duh.
Jess,
Look, nobody saw me, man.
you should never go there. Not without me. If you want to go, I'll show you.
I mean, I've seen it. It's pretty weird. Nobody needs that much boxed milk. We don't drink milk.
It's complicated. I don't expect you to understand. But
I don't.
it's a just in case kind of thing. Sometimes you might, it's complicated. If you want to go, there is a meeting, you can go, but don't go there without me.
I don't.
Is there anybody there?
No.
Did anybody see you?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? Okay, come walk with me. We have
Okay.
to walk around at least 6 blocks now. Thank you.
Okay. If we bump into anyone I know, you're not related to me.
God, no. Of course not. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
Begin your walk through the city. The rain does begin to lighten. But it is a soggy night all round. Al, Ephemera, and Ixis, you make your way towards Sunny's place. But somewhere on your walk, Ixis vanishes. Al, you go into the shop to talk to Sunny while Ephemera sets out to find the missing vampire. Ixis, the world is color and sound and life.
My
It's
gosh.
overwhelmingly huge. Even though this is your city, it's so different, it's so full. And the thing that caught your attention was the petals on the ground. Red petals, pink petals, a trail, all along the road. And you find a hotel. And through the doors, a bride stands, talking next to her husband, a woman in a great white gown. Around her, other women in bright colored dresses, and men with matching pocket squares tucked into their black and white suits. Above them, a giant golden chandelier. And the sound, heartbeats, throbbing in your ears. And that's where we're going to end today's session. I would like to thank everyone for putting up with us, hopping around and exploring things, and Lindy for waiting until the big egg breaking to join us. But
It's a really nice aesthetic.
yes, thank you very much. So let's go around. I would like to thank chat for all of their contributions today. We will try and keep note of those rerolls, so if everyone can make sure you make a note of whatever you've used or haven't used, we'll bring them over to next time. Thank you very much for the donations of spoopy things. I hope that was duly spoopy enough for you. I'm sure it will only get spoopier as we delve deeper into this world. Kiana, would you like to tell us where we can find you and what you're up to with your life?
Yeah, that was fantastic. I super love this game already. I love all the characters and this world we're creating. I'm just super excited to see where we go from here because so much already happened. We have already so much and so many interesting storylines and stuff to follow. So super excited for that. But yeah, I am Kiana. You can find me over on Twitter at KianaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing because I'm over the internet playing role-playing games almost every day of the week. You can find me on WebDM again on Tuesdays where I am in Starward Bound. I play a very different character. I play a Warforged Barb, everyone's favorite murder robo. But other than that, I like to play games and do stuff with my friends. So definitely check us out over there. And you'll find me every Sunday here. Might not be here next Sunday, but normally I will be here every Sunday with this lovely group of people.
And Susie.
Hi, I'm Susie, otherwise known as Susanna Grace, and you can find me everywhere on the internet at Susanna Grace. I am a variety streamer who does video games, art streams, roleplay streams. I'm appearing on a whole bunch of other channels this season, as it were. So I did a pin tweet. You can find out where I am, on what day, and what I'm doing, what system I'm playing on that day. But yeah, this was such a great start to the campaign. I'm so excited to see like what happens and where we're going to go with this. Charlie, you were amazing. You're fantastic. You guys, you're beautiful, amazing people, and I'm so excited for the future for this game.
And Lindy, because I don't have to skip you anymore.
Yay! Hi, I am Laugh with Lindy. That was super fun. Ixis is about to experience a whole new world than what she is used to, and she is so excited about it. It's gonna be a lot of learning, a lot of messy learning probably, and I can't wait for it. But you can find me online, Laugh Love Lindy, on the Twitches and the Twitters. I play in and DM about a dozen tabletop RPGs over on the Twitches and stuffs. So just follow me on Twitter for updates when I'm going live where. You should definitely tune in an hour though to Tales from the Grimm's channel for the all-time, not just season finale, but the finale of Project Athena. It's been going on for more than a year. It's an amazing Pulp Cthulhu game. I'm probably gonna cry my eyes out, but it's fine. Yeah.
You'll hear a really good German accent in that, just saying.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I do love my little sociopath German. She's great. But yeah. So that's me. Just follow me there and watch all the cool stuff.
And Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna. You can find me online at Ephemeroptera. That's my Twitter account. I really love this game. I've been looking forward to it, like I said, for a couple months now. This is one of the coolest games I've gotten to play in, and I'm really excited. I've never done vampires. Like, I don't know how many of us have, but never done vampires, and it's really cool to do. I'm really excited about Cypher System, a new system for me. I love the mechanics. I love the way it's working, and I love the story we've already started building. We've done so much prep work, and I'm really happy with everything that's gone into the story so far. And like we just got out so much in the first episode, that it's just the beginning, and it's really cool to see, and I'm excited to see what happens with the story, because I have no idea. You never know.
You never know, indeed. One thing I would like to mention before we get to Emma and we can wrap up the show is that next week we will have a special guest with us, the wonderful Talinia, aka Rachel, who did all of the fantastic art that you are seeing for the characters right now and you have seen in all of our previews. Thank you so much, Rachel. They're amazing. Can't wait to have you next week. And I hope that everyone in chat will be here next week. I also wanted to just throw in a couple more thank yous from myself. Thank you to Matt, who has been doing our producing today and will be here with us every week for this crazy ride. Shout out to Travis, who did the intro, to Susie, who did the music, to Lindy, who did the overlay, to Kiana, who did the logo. Everyone on Emma, who's done social media, and Anna, and everyone who's helped build this game. We've done a lot of work, and it was very important to me that we all kind of built this together, and that's been my attitude towards the entire thing, and I look forward to continue building this. I'm at Frost and Fire. You can find me on the Twitters. I, like Susie, have a pin tweet because I am also everywhere all the time. But you should be here for WebDM's wonderful schedule because they have some great shows, and you should also obviously hop over to the YouTubes to check out their content. The intro on the latest episode is the cutest. Trogdor for life. And Emma, is there anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so. I think, I'm the communications director for WebDM. That means if you talk to us on social media, you are probably talking to me and by proxy, Pruitt and Jim and Travis and everybody else. Please do talk to us there. Keep your eyes on that. We have, and also Trogdor is my son. He's super cute. You should watch him. Keep your eyes there. We have other Twitch games Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday nights Central Time. And this is our fourth, and we also have RPGN, which is coming from time to time. We're figuring it out. We also have a number of projects that are in development that are going to be really awesome, and we cannot wait to share them with you. Thank you so much for being here. Charlie, thank you so much for bringing it today. I don't even know what just happened with these shadows. I'm scared and intrigued, which is the way I feel like you should be at the end of a game like this.
And don't forget, if you do tweet about the show, tag WebDM, and also do hashtag New Vampsterdam. because that is our hashtag for this game. Please don't use the Lost Girls because that's relating to other sad things, and I don't want to relate to sad things. I would just like to very quickly, I meant to do this earlier and I totally forgot, just ask the crew what your favorite scene was and your favorite moment. Just really quickly, and then I promise we'll go. I know we're a little bit late. But if we start with Kiana.
I really like the moment that Ixis came out and it's just like ephemera and Alice just being like, what? And I think it's just a trio of everyone just being like, what? Too many questions. Too many things happening.
And Sissy.
I think Ixis absolutely stole the show, like with the like, what's this? Oh my! But I did also a bit selfishly like the first interaction between Jessica and May. I feel like that was the perfect setup for like their relationship and how they act towards each other. And I was just like, yeah, we got it, we nailed it.
And Lindy.
I liked when the three of us are walking to go talk to Sunny, and then you turn around and Ixis is just gone. She's like, all right, you go talk, I'll find. And then I'm like, I don't even care if I know where I am at the end of this session because she's just exploring. She probably went, ooh, shiny. And I loved it how already like each character's personalities are kind of starting to develop from that. You can get it in little snippets.
Anna.
I really liked opening the egg for my character, especially since she's been working on it so long, to see some sort of result, figuring out what's in there, how weird it was, and how she didn't really know how to react to it. And I'm also really happy with the vehicle you gave me. It's pretty cool.
Enjoy.
I will. I definitely will enjoy that vehicle. Don't you worry. It's gonna be awesome.
Emma.
I think my favorite moment was at the very end when Ixis is having this experience of newness, which, if you think about it, for a vampire would be so rare, right? Something is brand new and exhilarating. That's, when you become a vampire, that's the part of you that dies. It's not really there anymore. And so I love that that's there, and I'm so excited to see more moments like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you all very much. I would like to award an extra XP point to Ixis today as she bursts out of her egg and is faced with a terrifying and bright new world. Old world. Hard to say. Time. Wibbly wobbly. All right. So thank you very much for joining us. I don't think we have anything else to say. This will be up on WebDM Plays, and if you're watching over on the YouTube, you can catch us live on Sundays at 2 p.m. CST. So thank you very much, and goodbye.